reflections on what happened yesterday. We'd like to have some feedback, some very critical feedback from different people. So anybody is free to speak. In fact, normally we get feedback from every person in workshops, but here the number is larger. So, from every state, 2-3 people, from every area, 2-3 people should speak out, and then anybody is free to add. But please don't repeat. So we will start with feedback. Let me keep my bag. Okay, it's all yours. And everybody sitting here, including I speak for people from Vidya Bhavan who are a part of the team. We have been through so many workshops that nobody is scared of listening to, critical, even terrible things. So please feel free. Okay.
Language study.
Before, now I would like to get to know people a bit better. So before you start speaking, identify yourself and say something about yourself. What do you do? Where do you teach? And whether diet or what is your major area of interest? And then say what's your feedback.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Samreen Fatima, and basically I work for Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan in the state of Uttar Pradesh, and more or less I am involved in planning and organizing in-service teachers training in our state. So I'm not much involved in lots of pedagogical work directly, because I never act as a resource person, and I never go and train teachers on subject specific things, but I'm more or less involved in identifying their needs and trying to design some training program in that way which can cater to their need. Now, as far as language training is concerned, obviously it is from last few years what I have observed is that lot of stress is being paid on this early language skill development of children in our country. That means we really lag behind in it. That is why so much emphasis is being paid on it. And another thing which we can think is that really it's very important for further studies, that so much stress is being paid on early reading and writing skills on children. Now, as far as talking about yesterday's session, so as I told yesterday also, it was never in my mind that we will be discussing some sort of language training in that session, because as I told yesterday also, that I thought that something will be worked on our own comprehension and communication skills, as that the topic of the session read out to be comprehension and communication skills, something like that. But when it all started and moved, I myself don't have a very I have studied language till my class 10th only. Beyond that, I haven't studied any language. So I was not very well familiar with the technicalities of learning language. And so many people are there, because I think most of the teacher educators are also involved maybe in some particular subject training and all, because what I have talked and observed. So there may be some other people also like me who don't have that, that technical hold over, or who haven't read various theories of the people involved in research on language training and all those things who don't know much about it. But when it all started and the things as move ahead, what I realize is that it is basically a organized science, and we need to understand it before training our own teachers that how to teach languages in the classroom. So it needs lots of studies on the part of teacher educators. They need to go through the theories, they need to understand the things, because if so many people have done so many researches and put in so much efforts and they have come to a conclusion, and then we have a very good position paper also, which involves so much experience, so much knowledge and skills of the people involved in it, involved actually in the process of language teaching and learning. So I think we as teacher educators, we the people who are involved with teachers, who are involved with their training, need to put in lots of efforts and try to understand those things and try to draw meaningful conclusions in it and train our teachers, and that will help our children. Thank you.
Do you think we did nothing about reading comprehension? And
Actually, I think the exercise which we did, but still I'm not able to make out much of it, that why it was actually done. Because when I did it, I thought that maybe my answers were not wrong, but they were treated as wrong because you have given a very unique solution type of thing, which happens more in mathematics, I suppose, not in language, that you have a very unique, word for everything. Even in mathematics, sometimes we don't have unique solutions. So
what should I do? Sorry to interrupt you. What should I do if I want to put across what you are saying, that there is a unique word for every blank? What else can I say?
I am not able to get what you want to ask, sorry.
Instead of saying
Yes.
that there is a unique word for every blank,
Okay.
that's what you're saying.
No, see, yesterday
No.
I...
I'm saying that's mathematical.
Yes.
It's as mathematical as a plus b whole square. Right?
Yes.
There is no other way. What I'm trying to say is that when you say a unique word for a blank, then that's what you mean. Because if you start saying, well, accurate word, then it would be something else. If you say correct word, then it would mean something else.
And what about synonyms? Some
No,
synonyms are
wait
very
a minute.
similar.
We'll come to that. I'm only saying that, so don't be amazed that language rules should function like rules of physics or rules of mathematics. Okay. Yes.
I am Bhagwati Singh, study, and I am also involved in designing and planning and then monitoring the training programs, in-service training programs. And what I learned from yesterday's deliberation, that we should think the multilingual situations not only in terms of a number of languages, but we have variety of multilingual or situations in classroom also. So we should see that opportunity also in our training design. That's all. And then we should try to expose more and more. We should create situations like that where he is exposed more and more from print material, then media, audio, video material, then you can say text material, then you can say means parallel material, Bal Sahit, etc. What I learned from yesterday's deliberation.
Sir, I am Sarvadanand.
I think please raise your hand. Figure out from where the voice is coming from. So because of these technology. So I think he started speaking first. So him and then
Kumar Jha from Chhapra, CTE, College of Teacher Education, working as a principal there, involved in a lot of exercises for the students as well as in the field of designing the training I'm involved in. So far, the critical analysis of the yesterday's presentation, as you have said, what I could observe, it was something referring to linguistics, or to a great extent linguistics, linguistic things were involved in. If a teacher educator knows about the patterns, the structures, how to deal with, prior to that, if he knows how a child learns the language, because he learns the language in the setting where he is living in, or in the classrooms where he is attending classes. So in those situations, when he is coming to us with some amount of language, and if we are unable to analyze how is he learning that, and if we exploit those situations, it will help us better to teach the language to our students, number one. Number two, the exercise which was given to us, they were of two kinds. One, how a child learns, glass, glasses, cap, caps, tap, taps, book, books. How does he pick up those things? How does he acquire all that when he has no amount of grammar with him? A child of 3 years, he can distinguish between certain things without having any amount of grammar with him, taught by either the parents or the classroom teachers in the formal settings or in the informal settings. But in spite of that, he is able to pick up or acquire the language. The acquisition takes place. In the formal setting, usually a child learns. But in the informal situations, that is before he attains the age of 3, he is able to acquire something. The language is spoken around him, maybe in the house, maybe outside the house. And he is able to conceptualize something, because there are some conceptual chunks in his mind which pick up those things, and he is able to analyze it unknowingly. He is not knowing about it. He is not knowing about grammar or anything of grammaticality. But he is able to analyze those things and know, if this is the pattern, it should go in this way. He doesn't know the science of it, but it goes in the right direction. There he had an exercise of that kind, and he expected from us also to do such kind of exercises, because it helps in the analytical and critical study of the language while comprehending it. Then second exercise which was given by him, it was multi-folded one. A child could be tested about his previous background of knowledge of grammar, maybe of semantical aspects, maybe the parts of speech, maybe the appropriateness of some words in particular situations which fit in. Maybe. Okay.
that's one of the tasks.
Okay. So So these two kinds of exercises were done, in which critical comprehension was the main aim for it. Thank you.
Sir, I am.
Sir. Sir.
Innate qualities. That everybody knows, sir. He learns most of the.
You see, he has made a statement. I'd like you to write it down. Would you just, if you go and tell somebody that the sum of the angles of a triangle is 180 degrees, I can say go to hell. Either you prove it, either you give me evidence, show it to me how it is, or I don't buy this, and you will have to show it. We might do that exercise today. So if he's saying that a child is born with innate qualities, I might take the position that a child is born with no innate quality. You get my point? So then you will have to argue. I'm not asking you to defend it now, but I'm saying this is one of the issues that we need to take up, because that changes the whole thing. If you take one position or the other, so many of you are members of the organizing. I think this is very important that so many of you are part of the organizing and building up teacher training systems without perhaps ever having raised these very fundamental issues before. So I think that's a very critical point that is emerging out of this discussion. Okay.
If child is not cognitive deficit, then he can learn things more easier. He can improve his language through his home, his neighborhood, what he sees, how people pronounce. He usually used to grab it. And when he is in age 3, he knows knowingly or unknowingly, knowing some patterns, some not, but is having a good sense of language. Through other languages, his vocabulary, his knowledge increases, and in a diversified culture, in a multilingual society, he used to add it on. That's my point.
Sir.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I have only 2 points to make. I am Dr. Dibakar Sodangi from SCIT Odisha. Basically, I am working in city, IICs and SCIT. Currently, I am given the responsibility of teacher education program planning, designing and implementing. That way also program evaluation. I have 2 points to make. One is my problem. I am expressing to that way, seeking your assistance to learn more. Problem is, see, yesterday I tried hard to make out what the session is all about, what do I learn and how do I configure them into a organized chunk of learning. I heard everything, and believe me that with all my concentration I tried the language and exactly what a child of 3 years old possesses everything. But still at the end and in the evening when I reflected back that what did I learn from my professor today, still I am left in vacuum, rather more in confusion. So what I request you that at the outset of the class, if possible, you just tell us what the topic is all about that you are going to deal, and tentatively what are the learning outcomes that you expect that we should have. This can direct my thinking to focus on that. So this is my problem. Another actually rather a question as a teacher educator, as a professional, I am thinking particularly in relation to one statement that you coincidentally also you made that when we think of building a teacher education system, we try to build persons into an effective teaching professionals. Lot of theories, lot of skills that we talk about at our level. At our level means professionals, either your level as very experienced, saturated professors in a particular field, or the middle level professional like me. We talk a lot about that, but when I think of practically designing a teacher education program, either for elementary teachers or at secondary school teachers, see, I am troubled. Say there is a span of 2 years or 1 year for which we are designing a course. How much of my issue, the confusion, how much of all these great theories, all these skills and that can be loaded into the curriculum so that we can come up with an effective teachers. So see, I'm troubled that I feel very often that, see, at our level we talk about so many theories, things and skills or competencies that teachers should this way, that way, and should know this or that. So is it a paradox? I feel that we know our elementary school teachers, they are having basic qualifications of, say, higher secondary stage with a 2-year diploma. That is the standard qualification. And for a secondary school teacher, they graduate with a 1 year or a 2 year somewhere, accepting this RI or Delhi University program. But this is the standard program. How much of things can we give them in this duration of program, so that we can expect that these people will come up at our expectation level. So you may help me to clarify my doubts, or it may be that at the end of this, or even at the end of this 3 years training program at USA, I may be clarified. So I think that we are thinking at a different level, but the people whom we are preparing as teachers, we also know their level of operation. So still I feel there remains a big gap. I call it a paradox. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tina Mohan from Dayat, Dehradun, Uttarakhand. So firstly, I'd like to thank you for a wonderful session yesterday. It really opened up my mind to the possibilities of language. It set me thinking about how amazing the process of learning languages, and it is so beautiful that it is a complete mechanism to it. That's how I started thinking, that it's not as simple as we try to think it is. It could be haphazard, but then I have read of things that there is transfer of learning. So there is definitely a mechanism, there is definitely something within us that helps us learn a language and then helps us learn another language easily. So I couldn't have understood it better without your guidance. And I used to look at language as just, being conditioned. Bachche ne bola, doodh, he comes closer to doodh, so mother says, very good, oh, very nice, doodh. And she gives him doodh. So the child is probably conditioned that into learning language. But what you said in class set me thinking, and I thought that language is just a means of thinking that we use. When we start thinking, it's like somewhere in our mind language is working. And so it's about how you have opened up new possibilities to us. And it also makes me feel that if we can decode this mechanism of learning language, it's going to open a whole world of possibilities to us. Thank you so much for an enlightening class. Thank you.
I am Jayaprakash Ojha, Diet Gorakhpur from UP. I involved in teacher training program, development of training modules, textbook of primary and upper primary level in UP, and development in BRC and PRC training modules. In the comprehension, I want to say in the comprehension, a child or we are connecting the one sentence with the next sentence to find the relationship with them for filling the appropriate word in the blanks. With this, the child creates his own thoughts and references. Many times a word of child is a sentence, and his parents do that kind of work. We know a evaluation system with each other, and it is effective also in classroom. We want to know how should conduct a language class at primary and upper primary level, and knowing this, we will able to include the technique in teacher training program in various levels. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, all of you. I am R.C.D. Bajpayee from Diet Lucknow. I am senior lecturer there. And yesterday the session was very scientific, I think, and the best for me. Language and dialect, I was unknown about that, but I have cleared all my things. And I couldn't understand that the English is a genderless. I think in the sense of verb that he eats, she eats, and there is no difference between verb eats, eats. There are both. I think that is the main or another. So that is clear. Yeah. Okay. And one thing which in general in diets so many linguistic persons are saying that Subopali is the mantra, sutra, listening, speaking, and reading, then writing. Are you agree with that? Or no, I couldn't understand that. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
My name is Tom Burle. I've been working in Diet Titapur. It is in Assam. Yeah. So I've been engaged in.
Please understand that it is far more important to listen to each other than to listen to me. Believe me. So please listen to others. Not that you have said your piece and you are happy. It's very important to listen to others. Yeah.
Recently, I've been engaged in reviewing DTF models. So this DTF models, I think it is designed to fail models. Designed to fail. DTF models. So as I have seen most of the programs that we design, ultimately we develop them for this failure. Yeah. Okay. And second thing is so far the interaction we had yesterday. My comprehension is that we're talking about the ability. That means every child, every learner in the young ages, they're equipped with a system through which they can process informations. And this power of comprehension is very natural in that particular age. And if we want to learn something about comprehension, then we must know this particular fact, how a child in his early days, how he can acquire basic informations about something. But my concern is that after going back to the formal system, what actually happens where he loses this power of comprehension. So there are two dimensions. One is we have to understand how necessarily a child can comprehend something and how he loses this power later on.
सर, मैं सीताराम प्रसाद, डाइट, पश्चिम चंपारण, बिहार। सर, आप तो भाषा के उद्भट और धुरंधर विद्वान हैं। धुरंधर। सर, मेरी करबद्ध प्रार्थना है आपसे कि हम लोग तो जो जानते हैं वो बोल ही रहे हैं, लेकिन आपसे ज्यादा भाषा के संबंध में जानकारी चाहते हैं। जहां तक प्रश्न बच्चों की भाषा और शिक्षा से संबंधित भाषा की बात है, मैं स्पष्ट करना चाहता हूं कि भाषा वास्तव में तो बहती सरिता है और भाषा वस्तुतः भाषा का अनुकरण हमारे साहित्यकार नहीं करते रहे हैं। भाषा या व्याकरण साहित्यकारों का अनुकरण करता रहा है। हम जानते हैं कि हिंदी साहित्य के 1000 साल के इतिहास में कबीर ने जो भाषा गढ़ी है, जिन्हें भाषा का डिक्टेटर कहा जाता है, वो भाषा वास्तव में अनुकरणीय है। जैसे अब भाषा की जहां तक बात है कि मछली को नर मछली और मादा मछली, हम हिंदी वाले बराबर कहते रहे हैं नर मछली मादा मछली, नर मछली मादा मछली। तो मछली को यदि पुरुष के लिए नर बनाने के लिए मछला भी हम कहें, मछली मछला, लेडी लेडा, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? तो भाषा की अपनी खासियत है सभी भाषाओं की। जैसा कि सर ने कल कहा कि इंग्लैंड में ही, अमेरिका में ही वो 10 कोस पर भाषा बदलती रहती है, उसके बोलने के रूप तेवर शब्द बदलते रहते हैं। ऐसी स्थिति में भाषा तो वास्तव में बिल्कुल बहुविकल्पी है, बहुरूपिया है वो। तो इस तरह से मैं से पुनः सर से मैं निवेदन करना चाहता हूं कि भाषा के विषय में ज्यादा से ज्यादा स्वयं सर बताएं, बड़ी कृपा होगी सर की।
No, he basically said that, language is like, is not static. Language is like a flowing river, just sort of ever changing. And I think he made a very important point that it is not that grammars and dictionaries control people who write. Actually, they don't even control people who speak. You see, if I am a Bhojpuri speaker, before talking to you in Bhojpuri, I don't run home and see a dictionary. Because I know Bhojpuri, so I can speak Bhojpuri. You never consult a grammar for your language. You see, Assamese speaker will never consult an Assamese grammar to speak Assamese. We people don't even think about these things. Somebody who wants to learn Assamese, he will consult an Assamese grammar, but not an Assamese speaker. So that's the kind of point, I think very important point he was making. He was also saying that, he thinks I am a great scholar of language, which I am not at all. and he wants to listen to more to me. But the reason, because I'm not a great scholar of language, therefore you don't listen more to me. No. But you see, what you're missing is you're not telling me what you felt about yesterday. Anyway, think about it. Who was next? Yes.
Oh, I thought I was number 9.
Who is
Here.
number 9? Oh, yes.
You gave me the number 9. That was number 8.
I am number 8.
You're 9.
No.
I'm 9. You're 10.
Okay.
All right. I'll make it. It's a very short reflection. Actually, see, I'm not very complicated. Oh, sorry. You all know I'm Chan Pui from Mizoram, IASC. And last night I was thinking, and I don't think lots. I don't like to think much. Okay. So I came, this is an honest assumption or a conclusion. I hope so will excuse me if I may sound rash. But I came to the conclusion after reflecting on yesterday's lesson that this seems to be in a, can we say, a diplomatic way of finding out our English proficiency. That's my conclusion. And that's all I had to reflect on it. Thank you.
It's me. I am Christine from Nagaland, and given the fact that, sir, you have been referring to the Angamis and the Aos, I think you have a fair knowledge of the linguistic structure that we have in Nagaland. For the rest of my colleagues seated here, we have 17 major tribes in Nagaland, and we have some 5 other tribes. Now, what's happening in Nagaland is all our tribes have our own specific language patterns, which are so complicated that we cannot understand each other unless you make an effort to study each other's language. So that gives the rise of a dialect called the Nagamis. Now, up till yesterday, and by the way, our official state language is English. Up till yesterday, I thought that the basic difference between a language and a dialect is the difference when an established and recognized script comes into play. But then, sir, you talked about power dynamics that is also at play, and I understand that also. But my confusion arises when, like for example, if we were to give the status of language to Nagamis, what script would we follow? Because Nagamis is a combination of Hindi, Bengali, and Assamese. For example, when we say, "What are you doing?" we say, "Ki kuri ase." So 3 languages are coming into play. What do you do then? That's my question.
Very pointedly shows. Anyway, good. Anybody else? Yes.
I'm Lipika, I'm diet faculty from Odisha. So yesterday we did 2 exercises about reading the paragraph comprehension. I think that is twice we have to read the paragraph, then we have to fill in the blanks. But this comprehension, the blanks, the words are very rigid. If I will not write this word, it will be cross. So after doing that paragraph, when you evaluate the performance, that is whether we are in the 15 to 19 or some other groups like this. So can we not killing the creativity of the child? If one is that some words can be replaced by other words also, but you didn't give us any chance to think divergent ways. If you will do such type of exercise. But somehow or other, it is my friend has secured 22. Okay.
In instruction also, you never said that there is only one solution.
My point is that whether we are not killing the thinking level of the child by if we will supply the fixed word.
Look, imagine, all of you all of you, I'll respond to every question. All of you who are well settled in life, and getting your salaries and everything and expecting promotions, if all of you are so worried about your evaluation, and about your marks, imagine, what injustices we must be doing to small kids, Even after we at NCERT fought a battle, that battle was fought by people like us, that class 10 exam should be optional and there should be no exam from class 1 to 10. I mean, the consequences are disastrous for the time being, but in the long run, if you will see after 25, 30 years, there will be a more healthy system in place. So don't worry, okay? We'll come to that.
Sir, second point is
yes,
that we did on exercise this caps like singular and plural. There are so many different rules are there. Half is halves, ox is ox, and so many different rules. Say class 6th or 7th child, if first time if you will learn the grammar, isn't it too difficult and complicated? Only he or she will by heart these rules and practice it and remember and produce in the examination. Can it not be simpler? Or I want to know why the rules are so complicated for different words, for different rules.
May I ask one question also?
Myself Rakesh, working as a principal in Diet Bhagalpur, Bihar. Sir, you have instructed us to concentrate on 3 sentences: she eats, I ate, and they ate apples. And I concentrate on the vowel only. Being a student of mathematics, I know the role of arrangement and selection. So by saying the word vowel eat and then ate, so I just see the arrangement of the letters. Word. Okay. So EAT and ATE is similar to the arrangement of the numbers 1, 2, 3 and 1, 3, 2. So the numbers are different due to the arrangement of digits. Similarly, EAT, TEA and ATE, the words are different due to the arrangement of the letters. So sounds. Okay, or later. ATE or AT.
Actually, he is referring to the monosyllabic words. But he is
No, sir.
Do you want to use the word letter or do you want to use the word sound?
Sounds. Okay, sounds.
You want to say sounds?
No, sir. EAT.
Are you sure you want to say sounds?
No, sir. We are referring as a combination of the letters as a words, not sound. We are pronouncing the word with reference to sound, but
this is very important to several issues that have been raised. So kindly just make a note. Are we talking about letters or are we talking about sounds? This is also related to the Nagini question.
Yeah.
Right?
But I suppose when we speak, then we mean sound, and when we write, then we mean letters. Vani and Akshar. This is what I studied in my class 6 grammar book.
Yeah. But we, classic grammar books are garbage, so don't worry about them. Okay. Yes, sir. Go on.
Then, sir, I think of the words which are symmetrical about the middle one. One of our resource person is Ara. So Ara is symmetrical about whether we start from the beginning or from the. Similarly, Saras in Hindi. So we are thinking of the words which are symmetrical, and similarly the combination and the words. So I feel in language also, language is nothing but mathematics, in my opinion.
Sorry. In a word like Saras,
Ara.
What is similar?
Saras is when we start from the beginning saw or saw, or from the last saw.
What is similar?
It is symmetrical about the middle.
No.
Just like the normal curve you have.
No.
You said that it is
I'm
symmetrical.
saying they are similar letters or they are similar sounds. That's what I'm asking.
Similar.
Everybody is free to speak.
Sound.
Similar sounds.
Sound.
Everybody sounds. Say sound loudly. No. Huh? Sounds, not letters. So there is a problem, okay? So there is a problem. So we'll come to this.
Yeah.
We'll come to this.
Thank you, sir.
No problem? Very good. So what do you want to say? Huh? Both? You are talking about letters and sounds and they are identical? Okay. Okay. So we will see. So you are the one who is going to come to the board now. Okay. Yes,
sir. Thank you.
Please, I mean
Sir.
Please, the more the responses, richer will be the day. Okay? So the more you react, the better. Okay? Because it's your day, it's not my day. It's your day. This is a program for you, not for me. Okay? So please, yes sir. Yes sir. And I think you also wanted to say something. Yes. Wait. Yeah.
Sir, I'm Dr. Alok Kumar from Sant Kabir Nagar, state of UP. Sir, I would like to say something.
Yes.
I don't know it is relevant or not in the it is relevant or not in this session, but I would like to say. Sir, as I know in my limited knowledge that the communication is the medium of our expression. Language is the medium of our expression. But if a person want to express himself, it is need to be a language. But I think that some languages has no meanings. As there is a crossroad junction situated in London, and this crossroad junction is called as Circle Square. What is the meaning of Circle Square? But there is a crossroad junction situated in London, which have named Circle Square. I think that there is no meaning of this word, Circle Square.
What did you say was your name?
Sir, Dr. Alok Kumar. And here I would like to put
what do you think that means to an Englishman?
Yes, sir.
What does Alok Kumar mean to an Englishman?
What does Alok Kumar mean?
An Englishman.
Your name to the British.
Sir, in the meaning of my name is in English.
No, what I mean is what you can of course tell him. You can of course tell him, but otherwise, good morning, Dr. Alok Kumar.
Yeah.
How are you, Dr. Alok Kumar? But do you think Alok Kumar has any meaning for him?
No, it is only expression of अगर हम इस चीज को कुछ कहना चाहते हैं तो there is a medium. This is a pen.
Can
Sir, actually
this is what?
This is bottle.
बोतल नहीं है.
Bottle.
बोतल नहीं है. बोतल है कि बॉटल है?
Bottle.
ये क्या है? ये क्या है?
This is chair.
कुर्सी नहीं है.
Sir, if I speaking in English that it is there.
No, we'll come to that. Okay? This is a very important point. We'll come to that. Please go ahead. Yeah.
Here I would like to go ahead. In this regard, I would like to say that I would like to put an example. If language has its own meaning, here I would like to put an example. A person who belongs to Delhi, please listen to me. a person who belongs to Delhi says, all the person, a person who belongs to Delhi says, all the person who belong to Delhi always lie. This statement is true, false, or meaningless, and how? What is the function of language? And I'm not talking about this particular sentence. So many sentences we are use in our day-to-day life, and it is not, and it is there is no meaning. And sir, I wish that you reflect in your session these things. Okay, sir.
Sir, I have a question here. Not a question, in fact, I would like to share something what I experienced yesterday. My name is Grace, I'm from Meghalaya. While doing the test, Meghalaya. Yes, sir. While doing the exercise, in Thatlasken DIET, in the District Institute of Education and Training. Thatlasken, there are 11 districts in Meghalaya, and I'm in one of those districts.
I know Meghalaya well. That's why I'm asking you.
I
yes. worked there for quite some time. Anyway.
Okay, from Jaintia Hills district.
Yeah.
What I experienced yesterday when you gave us this test, that fill in the blanks, I would like to say that I have committed a big crime. You told us to read only twice. But it took me twice, thrice, and 5 times to read the passage and then fill in the blanks. And to be honest, my friends are even copying from me.
Was the word only there? What did it say? At least. So you didn't commit any crime. So if you read it 10 times, you did the right thing.
So this made me think that this type of a test, if we are to give to our children, it might provoke them, to commit some kind of cheating, like my friend did yesterday. Yes, all of us. So we are trying to peep, sir, like what is he trying. That's all I want to share. It reflected me that maybe this type of examination, if we give to our children, it might lead to such kind of commitment. That's it. Thank you, sir.
We realized that copying might be disastrous.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. That's all.
Okay.
So from the yesterday's discussion, some questions are coming to my mind. That we have discussed that we create language in the deliberations yesterday, and language is also the product of the society, which is created by us. And language learning is purely natural, and that is started from the society. And if we'll go to another part, every learning of science, learning of language, mathematics, and social science, history, geography, everything is also one kind of language learning. So if the language is learned in a natural way from the society, from the family, and every school discipline is one type of language learning, so why we are focusing more on language learning in our schools? This is the first thing. Second thing, another thing, while designing the teacher training curriculum in language, and also preparing the course materials and the teaching learning strategies for the children in our classroom, still we are giving priority that language is a skill subject, the integration of listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So what are the proportionate weightage to be given at different levels on which skills, and which skill is coming fast and which is last? Still that is a debatable question, issue for me. If you will clarify on these issues, the integration of skills and weightage of skills at different level, which skill? Listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Now we can't stop that.
teachers spend their
Yes, sir. Sir, this side, sir, this side. Sir. Sir, I'm Aditi Moman from Dayatura Meghalaya. And when we teach language in the schools, we begin with, actually there are 4 skills in the teaching of language. And we begin with listening. And now when I listen to all the feedback given, I feel that we have not made use of this skill yesterday, and we need some brushing up on this skill, I mean the skill of listening. And I want to read out one poem. The title is The Wise Owl. A wise old owl sat in an oak. The more he saw, the less he spoke. The less he spoke, the more he heard. Why can't we be like that wise old bird? Thank you.
One question to you. I mean, were you not listening yesterday?
I was listening, but what I'm saying is that we need a little brush up.
That's all listening is all about. Wasn't it getting brushed up? Weren't you listening to new things, new words, new expressions?
But I think we need to develop more.
Well, how much more? Infinity.
Yes.
Well, I have only 3 sessions with you, so that's all I can do. Okay, anybody else? So we have
So I have a question in mind. Obviously, it's not a reflection of yesterday's session, but it is an important question which comes in my mind. I have been thinking about it so many times. The thing is that, sir, I belong to state of Uttar Pradesh, where Hindi is the official language, and it is the state where language is more or less associated with, they'll say that Urdu is the language of Muslims, and a political regime will come into power and they'll try to recruit more Urdu teachers or something like that, just in order to, for their political gains. And being situation, they'll sometimes, say that Sanskrit is the language of maybe Hindus. So we have specific schools where, so-called, highly learned people go there and they study Sanskrit, and means a class of divide, means language is associated there in UP with certain religion. Something like this is the picture. I'm just trying to create a picture. And then a political regime will come and they'll say that English shouldn't be taught. This situation, sometimes you see this headline also in the newspaper, that government has announced that no English teaching. But all these statements just trying to make a picture of it, that what kind of situation is in our state, where language is associated with particular religion. This is still the situation. Now, my point is very, thing which related to current situation. Actually, I struggle to understand these things. Thing is that the situation is that all the government-run schools in UP, there the medium of instruction is Hindi, and most of the private schools, there the medium of instruction is English. So this time, in I think January 2013, a JRM team visited our state, and they came to a conclusion that children are drifting away from the government-run schools to the private schools, because the medium of instruction in private school is English, and because English is the global language, and of course it increases the employment opportunities. And this is the reason, this was their observation, the observation of the JRN team and our educational secretary, and I happened to be in that meeting. So these were the things, these were the discussions taking place. And now when I went through NCF, then most of the places it's written that the local language or the mother tongue should be the medium of instruction. So all these things, confuse me a bit. And the situation there is that because most of the people are not very well educated, even the so-called private schools where English is the medium of instruction, there that English as the medium of instruction is in very poor state. So what comes in my mind is that, taking in consideration the views of the scholars, the views of the highly learned people, that mother tongue should be the language of instruction, then seeing the condition of my state where children are running away from government-run schools to the private schools, just in spite of the thing that so many facilities is being offered in government schools, is still where the medium of instruction is in English, children are running away. Even the poor people who cannot afford their meals are ready to part with their meals, ready to decrease their meals just in order to send their children to the private school, thinking that it will improve the job prospect of their children if they study in a school where English is the medium of instruction. And then NCF, which says that mother tongue should be the language of instruction. What actually is the solution? I am confused. Can you please guide me? Thank you, sir.
And maybe reality in other states also. What I want to put before you, sir, that yesterday's deliberation means looking to the 3-year-old child, what I learned that meaning is more important than grammar in learning language. And that's the reading pedagogy is saying this. He doesn't need grammar at all, and he is communicating well. And so, and what we were telling to teachers, that the main thing is the fluency and correctness. Language means the basic properties of language, and language teaching means there must be correctness, and then there must be fluency at all level. Means if it is class 1, he should correctly read, write, pronounce the words, sounds. And if he is at class 8, the content may be of higher order, but the basic thing there should be the correctness and fluency. Now, what I learned from yesterday's deliberation means he is learning thousands of words. He is sequencing the words, sounds and sentences, is making sentences, and if he is exposed, anyone could interact with him in a sensible manner. He will respond in sensible manner on any topic if he is exposed to that topic. So when we should go for demand of correctness, when we should demand, at what stage, at early primary level or at primary level, and when we should switch over to the higher order communication skills. This is my query to you, sir.
I think a very important, very rich session of comments. The first thing that I want to say is that people who are lost, people who are confused, and in fact people who feel that they got nothing or they are in a vacuum, I'm sure there are many. They are the greatest achievement of the yesterday's session. Okay, because if you're completely lost, if you don't get anything, that means you will go elsewhere, you will study more, you will find more things. So that's okay. It's also likely to happen because I don't have, as I told you in the beginning, I do not understand the word learning outcome. I don't understand, really speaking, what is deliverables. All these things you will learn in Arizona more. You have already learned it, all of you are using them. But what are the deliverables? What are the stakeholders? What can I take home? I can only, as I told you yesterday, that we can all collectively I am emphasizing the word collectively. And I share this with you so that you can go and share this with your teachers, and so that, because that's all you can do. Engage collectively in a rich dialogue. You know, we people approach our teachers, and teachers then approach their children as they have nothing to learn from children. Whenever I go to a class, I come richer learning from children rather than teaching them. Believe me, I am not trying to be humble or, trying to sort of play any games with you, but the fact of the matter is that, that I think you should understand that the only thing we can do is to try our best to engage in rich dialogue, which is not superficial, where we don't digress, where we don't beat about the bush, and where, you see, it's very tempting. It is very tempting for people to say what they have in their mind. Whether it is relevant or not, that doesn't matter. So, something is in your mind, so you must, vomit it out. So, well, if you have to, you better do it. You will feel otherwise very uncomfortable. But if we remain focused, it will help us. Okay, that was one. Let me sort out a few things, try to sort out a few things. One is this very central issue of letters and sounds, which we did not take up yesterday. We started, so I'm sure you have this data, right? So I'm plugging this. If you remember yesterday, we started making that. Incidentally, all this is available in print. All these articles have been written. There is an article written both in Hindi and English called, for example, Kaun Bhasha Kaun Boli, which is published in Sandarbh. Its English version is published in the Learning Curve. They are all freely available on the internet, so you can read them. There are 6 or 7 parameters on the basis of which traditional linguists or traditional scholars make a distinction between language and dialect. What I have tried to show that they are all false. Right? In terms of the science of language, they are all false. There is, other than saying army and navy, there is no other way of saying whether it is a language or a dialect. Okay? Sir, ho gaya? Oh, acha. That's what you were doing. Good. So you got what you wanted. Right? Good. Good. So we work fast, you see. The moment you want something, we get it. Okay. So there are 5. We discussed 2 yesterday. We talked about grammar and we talked about area. Right? We talked about widely spoken area. The others are, for example, literature. People say language has rich literature and literary heritage, and dialects have none. Then, as I told you, as it must have become clear to you now, then we will have to count Ramcharitmanas as outside literature. So or Surdas will not, or Kabir will not be considered to be, a part of literature. So all dialects, whether it is Bodo or it is Khasi or it is Angami or it is Ao, whatever be the language, they have their own literary and cultural traditions. Okay, they don't live in a vacuum. They live grounded in their traditions. Yes, they may not be available in books, but they are in the minds of the people, transmitted from one generation to the other generation. Okay? So we cannot distinguish between language and dialect on the basis of literary tradition. The most important point given by these people is, as some people said here, and our friend from Nagaland was quite surprised we did not discuss that is script. Okay? And people say to complete that chart, right? This is the distinction that is made, that languages have their own script and dialects don't. Okay? So this thing is so fundamentally wrong. Let's see what happens. As I said, don't trust even a word of me unless I give you evidence, unless there is evidence. Okay? Now, the issue is, first of all, the first question is, what is the script of Hindi? So Devanagari is the script of only of Hindi? Hundreds of languages are written in Devanagari. So there is nothing unique. Please try to understand. There is nothing unique about the relationship between Devanagari and Hindi. What is the script of English? How many languages are written in Roman?
So many I have seen.
Indian languages. Also Indian. Yes.
Nowadays we write even in Hindi in Roman. Nowadays even Hindi is written in Roman.
So then why are you worried about script and... Huh?
Due to this, I think, computer culture.
No, it has nothing to do with computers. It was always happening. In how many languages do you think, in how many scripts do you think Sanskrit is written in this country on a regular basis, much before computers were invented? Since the 4th century BC, in how many scripts, later, say about 6th or 8th century AD, in how many scripts Sanskrit is written? Do you think Tamilians write Sanskrit in Devanagari? Do you think Malayalis sit down and learn Devanagari and then write Sanskrit? Or they don't know Sanskrit? There are 15 different scripts. 15 different scripts in which Sanskrit is regularly written in this country itself.
And sir, same is for Arabic also, because we read Arabic now I see, because people can't read Arabic in Arabic script.
That's the important thing, that now you see. That now is important. Now let us take how many scripts are represented here? Assamese, Odia, Devanagari, Maithili, Kathi. Anybody knows Kathi? Kathi. Do you know Kathi? Can you write Kathi? Can anybody write Urdu, Persian script? Huh? Very good. Very good. So there are about 10 scripts here. Okay? More than 10. Oh, very good. Very good. Okay. Here we go. I am going to write a word. Can everybody read it? Right. Who knows Devanagari? You will have to move. You see, that's why this room is bad, because the movement is so difficult, so cumbersome. But I'll have to bother you. So please keep coming one by one in different scripts. So can you write this word?
Yes, sir. In Devanagari I can write.
Next. Assamese. Who will write in Assamese? Please come. आइए सर, आपको लिखना है उर्दू पर्शियन. आइए, उठ के आइए. You can, don't we have more pens? आइए, please come. Yes. वहाँ लिख दीजिए, कहीं भी लिख दीजिए. Okay. Please.
Sir, please specify the language. Sorry,
ये क्या है? बांग्ला। Yes, you wrote Bengali.
Bengali.
Say. It's called the Perso-Arabic script. क्या करना एक नुक्ते से खुदा का जुदा हो जाएगा और क्या होगा? वही तो कह रहा हूँ, खुदा का जुदा हो जाएगा.
I wonder. Just have translated.
नहीं किताब लिखी. अब नीचे भी किताब लिखी. ऐसे ही लिखा जाएगा लगभग. Very good.
Can I write in phonemic script? Can I write in phonemic script?
Can we go now?
Please, sir, let others come. There are people who don't think. Those people are standing here. They want. Very good. नहीं, आपको किताब ही वर्ड लिखना है. किताब का इक्विवेलेंट नहीं लिखना है. You have to use the script and write. Yeah, I don't want the equivalent word.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then it would follow the same Roman script. Yeah.
Your script is Roman?
Yes.
Okay.
It would follow the same.
Okay.
Even for Mizo.
Okay. For Mizo also?
Roman script.
But in me it will be.
Is your script different?
Roman.
So that's okay. The same script.
Yeah,
Okay.
the stress is
Okay.
there, no?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We also have a stress.
Okay.
So let me just show
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
We have a dot out here.
Okay.
We pronounce it
Kitab.
since there's a stress here.
Okay.
it's
So can you mark the
kitab.
stress? Can you mark the stress?
This one, this dot.
No, but that's otherwise also there. Right.
We
Okay.
pronounce it kitab.
Okay.
Okay. This is Garo.
Okay. So, hello, good morning. Have you just arrived? Oh, okay. I didn't see you then. Okay. What does this prove? Here is the evidence. What does this prove?
A language can be written in any number of scripts.
Right. A language can be written in any number of scripts. And all the languages of the world can be written in one script. All the languages of the world can be written in one script with minor modifications here and there. And one language can be written in all the languages of the world. All the scripts of the world. Which means what? Which simply means that there is absolutely no relationship between language and script. So script can go to hell.
It has become obsolete.
Right? Script does not matter. Number one. Number two, there are millions of people in the world, millions and millions of people in the world who speak the language but have never even seen the script. For God's sake, they are native speakers of that language. So script does not matter. And finally, how long do you think, let us say for Nagamis, we want to evolve a new script. Sitting here, how long do you think it will take? How much time do you think? Yeah, it will take time to become established, but how much time it will take? In 1 hour. We are absolutely right that if a group of 10 people sit, we identify the sounds of Nagamis, and it will take us 1 hour and we will have a script ready. If you want, we can try it now. It will take some time, we can do it. So there you cannot make a distinction between language and dialect on the basis of script. Because any dialect, any time can be written in any script. It is the absence of the army and the navy and the elite and the rich that dialect does not have a script. The day those people, the Santhals, in how many scripts Santhali is written? Santhali is written in how many scripts? Santhali, for your information, is written in 5 scripts. 5 different, Old Chiki, Roman, Devanagari, and 2 other scripts. Because Santhals are there in Bengal also, so they write in Bangla. In Odisha also, they write in Odia. Old Chiki, there they write in Old Chiki. Because the great man dreamt of Old Chiki. That's the importance of religion. You dream of a script. So there is no basis for making, because Santhals woke up. The day you wake up, you assert yourself. You see, people had to include languages like Bodo and Santhali and Manipuri and Konkani into the constitution of India. Why? Because people wake up. The day people wake up into the power structure of society, they create all these things. So if this point is clear to you that there is no relationship between language, there is no inherent relationship between language and script. In fact, language is completely independent of script. Then you will realize that there is no difference between language and dialect. Okay. What was your name?
Christina, sir, you can call me Christina. That's my Christian name.
Christina.
Yes.
I want everybody sitting here to name one language which is not like Nagamis. She described Nagamis, that which is not like Nagamis. Devanagari is not a language, sir. Hindi. I want you to name, I'm going to speak a sentence and I want you to tell me whether it's a Hindi sentence. मैं रोज सुबह उठकर गुसल खाने में बाल्टी और मग से नहाता हूँ और फिर रिक्शा लेकर स्कूल जाता हूँ. ये हिंदी का वाक्य है या नहीं है? नहीं तो जहां आपको उर्दू लग रहा है वहां हिंदी कर दो ना. मैं रोज सुबह की जगह क्या करना चाहते हैं? प्रतिदिन. आप लिख लीजिए ना. नहीं ओहो, आप मेरी बात सुनिए ना, मेरी बात सुनिए. अगर आप इसको हिंदी थोड़ा इसका शुद्धिकरण और मानकीकरण करना चाहते हैं, इट्स टोटली. So, are you saying it is not different from Nagamis?
Sir, it is like Nagamis only. There is no difference between Nagamis or.
But you don't think so. So then you are in trouble. Now you have to tell me Now you have to tell me if this sentence, अगर आपको प्रतिदिन करना है तो मैं प्रतिदिन करके बोलूं, प्रतिदिन करना है, हाँ ठीक है ना, मैं रोज सुबह, क्योंकि आप प्रतिदिन करेंगे तो मैं कहूंगा संस्कृत का है, नहीं नहीं संस्कृत का है, हिंदी का तो नहीं है ना, संस्कृत है, प्रतिदिन कहेंगे तो संस्कृत है, संस्कृत से हिंदी में आया है। मैं कह रहा हूं मैं रोज सुबह गुसल खाने में, बाल्टी और मग तो उर्दू नहीं है, बाल्टी और मग से नहाकर रिक्शा से स्कूल जाता हूं, ठीक है, ओके। नाउ आई वांट यू टू टेल मी कि गुसल खाना इज फ्रॉम वेयर? Urdu? It's Persian. Then balti is from where? Bucket? Huh? Balti is from where? What is the Sanskrit word for balti? What will you do? If you have to do the pratidin thing, what will you do to balti and mug? ये जल पात्र वाली बात वही है, जब रुमाल के लिए कहा गया तो CSTT में, जिसका मैं मेंबर था, CSTT is Center for Technical Terminology and so on for Indian languages. तो किसी ने वहां सुझाया कर कपोल मम स्पर्श वस्त्र खंड, for handkerchief, कर कपोल मम स्पर्श वस्त्र खंड। अब सवाल यह है कि दिस इज गार्बेज ना, दिस इज नॉनसेंस। तो आपको हैरानी होगी, अब बाल्टी का तो कोई सब्स्टिट्यूट है ही नहीं, एंड बाल्टी वी गेट फ्रॉम पोर्चुगीज, द वर्ड बाल्टी कम्स फ्रॉम पोर्चुगीज, मग कम्स फ्रॉम English, and English of course got it from somewhere else. Okay, school, you know, rickshaw is not English, friends. Rickshaw is Japanese. From there it goes to China. From China it comes to India, and then goes to English, and then all over the world. What do you think is the English word for chutney? Huh? What's the English word for chutney? Huh? What do you think is the English word for samosa? Or for sari? Do you think you will find these words in Oxford English Dictionary? Yes or no? Yes or no? All these words are a part of charpai. Is a word in Oxford English Dictionary. You see, Oxford English Dictionary, this is something which should answer the Nagamis question and answer the question of everybody else. Every year, Oxford English Dictionary, you see, the old editions are sold not by price but by weight. So you can go to the kabadi shop and buy as many as you want. Go to Daryaganj, you can buy an old encyclopedia in 20 rupees, because a new one has to come. And a new one can only be published by rich people. That is why they create the standard. And in the new edition, Oxford English Dictionary every time has to add an appendix of 10 to 15 or 20 pages which has only Indian words. And samosa has recently become a part of that. Because, you know, people, when they conducted a survey among the school children, white British school children, what is your favorite snack? They said samosa. So they said, no, what is the English word for this? They said samosa. For them, samosa became an English word. Right? So when you now hear the word school or you hear the word train, You don't say, na, ki what is the Hindi for train? What do you think? What do you find the word for Hindi train? No. Okay, what's the word for car? Or what's the word for jeep? We just take them. What's the word for rubber? मिटाने वाला अस्त्र, ऐसा तो नहीं बोलते हैं ना, rubber ही बोलते हैं. So all languages. You see, Nagamese is my teacher in England used to say that if you want to understand language, if you really want to understand what is happening to language and how to understand language, you should look under your nose. What is happening under your nose? So what is happening to Nagamese is under your nose. That is exactly what has happened to all human languages. So English language or Hindi language, German language or French language cannot boast of a single word that is English, French or German. They all have to come from somewhere or the other. Right? So I hope that makes the situation clear. The language dialect phenomena, yeah?
Sir, I don't know why I think like this, but don't you think so in few years or maybe in another 100 years due to globalization we will come to one single language which will have all the language? I don't know, but it's happening.
Yeah, you need to switch it off even if you have something more to say. You see, this. So we are now moving to the next point. I finished the first point. If there are any questions about this point, that point, please ask them now. Okay. There is then this issue of English being the global language and English being the language of computers and English being the language. As if there was no Sanskrit, as if there was no Persian, as if there was no Greek, or as if there was no Latin. Could anyone give me a single reason that why what happened to Greek or Latin or Sanskrit shall not and will not happen to English? Number one, think about it. Go home and think about it. Even those who say, I don't like to think, they should think about it. Go home and think about it. Secondly, this whole idea of global. What do you mean when you say global? Where is English spoken? Think of the globe. When you say global, then you think of the globe, right? When you think of the globe, so I am taking out the following. I am taking out China, I am taking out Russia, I am taking out Africa, I am taking out Latin America, I am taking out Asia. What is left of the globe?
Sir, even in Europe.
Wait, let me finish. I told you, don't rush. You see, I didn't even mention Europe because Europe is so small. I mentioned the huge continents. So global only means when this word global becomes popular, it is not as a matter of fact. It is an illusion that is created through the powers in global circles. It's a kind of illusion that is created. Why is it an illusion? Yes, there was a time when you type, automatically the American system would come up because the Americans ruled the world of computers. But today, if I want to type in Devanagari, do you think somebody can stop me? It is for the first time that if I want to listen to Bhojpuri songs, I don't have to go to Bhojpuri area. If I want to listen to Assamese music, I just have to sit on my laptop. The point I am trying to make is that what people don't understand is that the same technology, the same laptop, which gives you the feeling that English is the language, empowers local languages, provides them identity. For the first time, these languages, these cultures, now you can see a video, right? You can see a Bharatanatyam or a Kathakali on the video, right? I am not denying that English has acquired great power. I am not denying that, children are running to English medium schools. But let us not fool ourselves. Let's not fool ourselves that this is the, ultimate projection for the next 50 years. Things are going to change because the Santals and the Bodos, right, and the Manipuris and the Assamese, they are going to assert their local identities.
Sir, please let me make a point. When I talk about these things, sir, I just think about human beings as one identity. Is irrespective of the fact whether he belongs to Nagaland, irrespective of the fact whether he is German. Even in Europe, English is spoken in very small part. A French will never like to speak in English. A German will never like to speak in English. An Italian will never like to speak in English. I never meant to say that English is the language or English is the language of powerful people. I don't associate power with it. I have it is, but let me think what I was trying to say. For job opportunities, for employment opportunities, even we Indians, I don't think so there is even the remotest corner of the world where we have not traveled, where you will not find Indians, even in the remotest corner. So when we move from one, because now the transportation, the communication, it has become so fast that we are living in a global village. Today I am here within, within 12 hours only, because we'll be saving time when we'll be moving to US, we'll be in America. I am sitting here and maybe I am talking to a person living in Angola, or I am working with a person living in Angola. Okay, so when we live in such type of situation, therefore when we are interacting, maybe when you are restricted to Nagaland only, then you can speak in Naga and whatever is the language, okay, or when you are restricted into some part of the world only, then you are speaking to that language. But when you are continuously moving, when you are continuously interacting with so many other people, definitely we need a medium of instruction, we need a medium of communication. And what I said is that ultimately all are human beings, and we should, I think everything from a very, broad perspective. I think everything, ultimately we all are human beings. Language barriers, caste barriers, creed barriers, language shouldn't divide. Language should unite. I see language as the medium of uniting people. I don't see language as a medium of dividing people. This is what I want to say. I want a medium in which maybe I can, with which I can communicate with the Ethiopian also. I damn care whether it is English or it is Ethiopian. But if I want to talk to a person who lives in Ethiopia, how should I talk? Can you tell me? If I want to go and work for Ethiopian community, how? If I want to go and work in Lebanon, if I want to go and work in Palestine, what should I do? This is what was my point. I see language, I want a language which can unite people, which can keep humanity at the top. Ultimately, we all are human beings, and ultimately we should become good human beings, and this is what our education is all about. Respect human beings. We all are humans, rich, poor, Hindu, Muslim, Christians. We all are human, and we need a language to communicate with ourselves. And I think if we have some instruction, if we have some medium of communication in which this is the problem, why a Hindu doesn't understand me, why a Hindu doesn't understand what is written in Quran, because he is not reading it. This is the reason why, there is so much problem in so different part of the world, because we don't understand each other. The basic problem is we don't understand each other because we have created a language barrier. I want to break the language barrier. I want a language in which all the people are free to communicate. Because you travel to any part of the world, human problems are the same. Whether it is developed country, maybe they are ahead. If you move to UK, they may be talking about
Hello, Mrs. Khan. You are wasting your time. such type of learned person
Yes,
wants to say
you just
something,
tell
but
him
you are
straight.
disturbing
What
me.
do you want to tell,
Yeah,
sir?
you have made your point. I've got your point. Okay, what you want to say. You see, the fact that you equate humanity and being human with a language is problematic. You see, you need to reflect and examine the rhetoric. What you are speaking is a kind of rhetoric that you have inherited and you have not analyzed it. You need to switch that off. You need to analyze that very critically. What you are essentially saying is that being human and togetherness with certain sense of moral values is inconsistent with diversity, with linguistic, cultural, religious diversity. You would rather have homogeneity rather than have heterogeneity. What we are saying is that you can have total humanity together but also maintain diversity and heterogeneity. Now the issue is, how will it happen so that the communication across communities also takes place? Now, what you lack is a socio-historical depth. That's what you lack. And not your fault. That's the fault of your education system, because it hasn't given you that kind of depth. The socio-historically, you will realize that whenever communities have so wanted, whenever the communities have so desired, they have tea. So I'll finish in 1 minute. Whenever the communities have so desired and so wanted, for example, do you think that the Chinese never met the Britishers at the sea, that suddenly a British ship, these are facts of the matter, I'm not creating stories, this is history, that a British ship lands at the China shore. Do you think they didn't start talking to each other? Here she just gave you an example. 15 different Naga tribes. They don't understand each other. What have they done? They have evolved Nagamis. This has happened again and again and again. Don't switch it on. They have done it again and again and again in human history. The first stage of that language is called Pidgin. Whenever you need, but that is not done at the cost of diversity. There are 8,000 languages in the world that have been counted. There are actually maybe 20,000, because when we start counting, when we stop making this distinction between language and dialect, we will find 10,000. I don't want to kill 10,000 languages and create one language so that everybody wears a jean and a t-shirt. I want to maintain cultural diversity. I want different kinds of people to have voices in their own language, in their own cultures. I think all of you will agree with that. And none of you will want, I think, that your own cultural and historical and linguistic tradition should be destroyed because somebody else wants it. Whenever people have needed, whenever you want to go to America, you already know English, you are getting an orientation program, there you will learn more English. Right? But that does not mean that many of you, for example, here know Assamese, Hindi, Bangla, right, and can understand Uriya, and you know English. That does not mean to become more English, you destroy everything else. The question is, are we with a language or are we with multilinguality? That's why yesterday I introduced the term multilinguality. That is why I drew your attention to the fact that your classes are multilingual. We want to nourish and cherish that multilinguality rather than have a level, which will level everything out. Okay? So let's have tea and come back. and we'll continue.
So the question is also that why are you speaking in English right now? This is also a question.
No, I am speaking in English because there is such a diversity. But you did not realize, you see what you are not realizing, that 10 people came here and wrote in different scripts and used different languages, and that somebody spoke in Hindi in the morning. And if somebody wanted to speak in Mizo, I will let her speak in Mizo.
To unite that diversity, you needed a medium. You are uniting all the diversity.
I'm not saying, I'm saying it happens. When people need it, they create it. But they don't kill diversity. You don't have to kill diversity. You don't have to enter into that violence.
Unity in diversity.
There are still people missing, no? Huh? No, that's okay. So what I'm saying is, while we are waiting, you can fill the form. Somebody missing there on that seat? No? No. But everybody is here now. Okay. What I want to do is the following. I want to quickly respond to some of the feedback, which I think is important. Some very important issues are there. And I would like you to listen carefully, as carefully as I try to listen to you. Secondly, then we will come back to the tasks that we gave you yesterday, and then we see how much time is left and whether we are able to do. I thought we will do many things today, but there isn't too much time. Okay, the first thing is that one of the most important questions was not raised in the feedback. I mean, people came to me outside and raised that issue, and I want to respond to that issue. And that issue is that some people do not feel very confident about their English, their ability to read in English or talk in English or write in English, to be able to negotiate the great American situation. Okay. Let me tell you, there is nothing great about America. It is, they are human beings like us. They are people, very nice, helpful people. And they also speak a language. Unfortunately, they speak one or two. People like you speak, 4 or 5. You are far more competent linguistically than they are. So the first thing that I can tell you is that get rid of all fear. You should not have any fear. Okay? Secondly, if you at all think that there is any magic wand, any sort of quick fix solution, that you will join a 15-day course and things will happen, or you will go to a great English teacher and he will you will say, well, I will go to sir, and he will. No, it will not happen. It will not happen in 3 days. It will not happen in 1 month. It shall not happen in 3 months in Arizona. It cannot. It's a long drawn process. Actual language enrichment is a lifelong process. A 4-year-old child knows the total grammar. Yes, definitely knows the total grammar, but does not control all the registers. We will talk about this. Does not control the whole lexicon or the whole, all the ways of talking in a particular language. That you have to learn. And that learning continues all our life. It doesn't come to an end ever. Is that clear to you? So, what can you do? What can I suggest? That you have about what, 1 month? No. Before you go, you have 1 month. And the 3 months there also, what you can do is, what should become obvious to you after we have all the discussions, what you should do is, how many of you, let us say, I'm not asking all, but those who feel that they are not so confident, do you get an English newspaper? For example, do you get an English newspaper? Which one?
Hindustan Times.
Don't tell me. You see, I know the truth. You see, most people, I mean, in Rajasthan, for example, I went to Madhya Pradesh interiors. I could not buy English. There was no English newspaper. So this whole myth, this whole understanding of a global world that, we are one, when we say, people are traveling every day, people are going and meeting every day, we are talking of how many people? We are billions in India. You are talking of a few thousand or maybe 1 lakh. That's all. The rest of the people are where they were. Or maximum, they travel from Bihar to Delhi and back. They make a living. So what you can do, I mean, this is all I can suggest to you is start getting 2 newspapers. Certainly try to get Hindu. And try to get, Times of India or Hindustan Times, whichever newspaper, try to get and it does not matter how much you understand. Spend 2-3 hours trying to read it. Okay. Number 2, spend as much time with the English television as you can. See English movies, see, one of the things you can do is go to YouTube. Everybody has a laptop or computer. You know about YouTube. You can go to YouTube, type something like the multilingual classroom, and you will see a video on the YouTube. Anybody has seen it? You have? You have seen the video? Huh? Sorry? Huh? No. I mean a YouTube film.
Yes, over the YouTube.
No. I am saying a video called the multilingual classroom.
No.
Who has seen it? So please see it. Please see it so you will know about lot of things that I am talking about. Okay? And you might also see, okay, just come back someday and tell me what you saw. Okay. What other things you can do is to try to talk in English whoever you meet. You see, the question is, once you understand the kind of things I am telling you, you cannot be wrong. Because there is nothing called correct. What is wrong with something saying that? If I say there is nothing called correct, suppose I say that X is always correct. What is wrong with that statement?
Yes. Regarding this correct and incorrect usage, recently I had been to UK, sir, and we use sentences like this. We study in this room, we study here, but I heard from many native speakers speaking like this: you shall have class in here, you shall have class in here. I also asked that such constructions I have never come across in dictionaries and in your other books also. Then how do you use this? They said, no, this is our use. This is our use. They didn't just bother about whether it is correct or incorrect, as I understood earlier. That is what I want to say, sir. Actually, the native speakers go on communicating their thoughts. Thank you.
Usage is the only test of a language.
You see, you are not answering my question. You're telling me anecdotes about yourself. There is something fundamentally wrong, scientifically wrong, in principle wrong, in saying that X is always correct.
It depends
no, but
on.
You are saying making errors. That means there is something that you believe that it is always correct.
What are the parameters for the correctness? On what basis we are saying that Mr. X is correct? Correctness may be contextual.
Well, I can give you a set of parameters. That's not difficult. I can say this is what dictionary says, this is what the... Huh? Always here is wrong.
So,
Sir.
But sir, it could be, sir. Yes. Yes, sir. What I feel is X may not always be correct, because when we look at people in their cultural background, where they are coming from, and what they have learned, so X may be wrong in a different situation. Like he may be correct right now, but if he goes to another place, they don't accept things that way, so he may be wrong.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir.
Can we talk of the context?
Sir.
Yeah, but in X context only A is correct. Look, you are in trouble. The point is, we need to cut this short. We need to cut this short because, we don't have time. The point is, the moment you say X is always correct, you commit yourself to a position which is counterintuitive and counterfactual, which means you have to say that languages don't change. But languages change all the time. Therefore, madam, when you are talking in English, maybe what you speak will become the standard of the future. It has happened many times in the past. Because somebody must have said, instead of saying Ramasya Pustakam, somebody must have said Ramsa Pustak. Ramsa Pustak. That's how it became Ram Ki Kitab. Somebody must have made that error from Sanskrit to Hindi. That's how you have Hindi correct form, Ram Ki Kitab. It is not born from, it didn't fall from the sky. Human beings create language. This is another misunderstanding here which I noticed, that as if languages create human beings. No. Human beings create language and human beings precede language. Okay? So that's all I can tell you. Those who feel diffident, those who feel hesitant, the first thing for them is that they should have asked this question in the morning, in the feedback. Okay? That would have been the beginning. But from now on, don't hesitate. I mean, he took the liberty of speaking in Hindi. You could have spoken in Hindi. I didn't tell him, shut up, this is an English class. Okay? All right. So that was number one. Then I think I have sort of clarified that what you think is happening in two Nagamis, or what you think is happening only in UP, is happening all over the world. It happens everywhere. These are common human linguistic situations, right? Okay, third, let us sort out this issue of letter and sound. Okay, this is very crucial. So, let us pose it this way, that do you think that Devanagari in Hindi is more scientific than, let us say, Roman in English? what would you say? That Roman is more, English is scientific, writing English is scientific, or writing Hindi is scientific? Or or both are unscientific? Huh? You don't know. Good. You see, this is the most difficult thing to say, that I don't know, and this is the first thing you should learn. You see, people have this constant desire to say that I know. But I think the more difficult thing to learn is to be able to say honest to God that I don't know. In India, it's very difficult to find people who can say, I don't know. You ask anybody on the road, how do I get here? He has never been there. He will say, well, I think, if you turn left, then maybe you turn right, you will get there. They'll tell you something. Something or the other, they'll tell you. If you say, tell me, is it true or not? Suppose you go and tell somebody, my throat is hurting and I think I have some fever. There will be 10 people who will give you 10 kinds of. Because everybody knows. Everybody knows. Sanskrit what?
Sanskrit language. I have heard somewhere that Padini has made all the sutras, and it is very scientific, it is very systematic, but that's why people say that it lost its adaptability, and then.
You mean no other language lost? Or
many other languages also lost.
So, there's nothing special about that. And when you say scientific, which part? You mean speaking Sanskrit? Huh? You mean the grammar of Sanskrit is more scientific than the grammar of?
I have heard.
No. Grammar of what? Other languages? So Sanskrit has the most scientific grammar. Is that what you will say?
Yes, I heard it.
Yeah. Do you think anything wrong with that statement? Or right with that statement?
Grammar of every language is scientific. They have certain rules.
You see, unless you have perfect rules in a language, you can't open your mouth. There is nothing special about Sanskrit. You have to have rules. There was another issue related to this, which was mentioned by somebody here, that there are so many in the context. Can you switch that off, please?
Sir, I want to speak something.
Yeah, but let me finish.
Okay.
You see, somebody said here that so many ways of making plurals in English. And what do you do? What are you asking us? Can you tell me a word like, what is the plural of this, for example? Can you give me one more word? Can you give me one more word? Ox, oxen is the same as child, children? Are they the same or different? They are poles apart, right? Because here you are I का E बना रहे हैं और ren लगा रहे हैं. Ox में क्या करते हैं? केवल an लगाते हैं. So they are different. There is only one example. There is no question of rule. You have to learn this. So there is a whole list of about 50 or 20 or 30 words where the question of rule doesn't arise. You see, the important thing to note is that most children, the first plural they will come up with is either child's or children's. When people say child's, then you should be happy rather than being unhappy, because you should understand that the child has learned the rule rather than some stupid exception. Do you get my point? That the child has learned childs. If somebody says oxes, what does the child know? If child says oxes, what does the child know? Yes, then he should say something else, no? You see, please, you need to get out of this, what I called, you need to liberate yourself from this bondage of script. This is my standard sentence in workshop.
Is the last sound here in ox. That's why oxes. If a child uses oxes, that means that he has learned it from that glasses, churches, judges.
He has learned what?
Yes, making and then.
He doesn't know. You see, this is what I'm trying to.
Sound. The last sound is sir.
First of all, don't say yes, because for the child there is no yes.
He's making it plural.
You see, for millions of people, not just the child, for millions of farmers, there is no, because they have never seen a printed book. There is no yes. So get rid of the script, because languages exist independent of the script. They don't need scripts. So when somebody says oxes, we should be happy. So madam, there are rules. Who said this in the morning? Somebody else. So there are rules, and there is only one rule for making plural in English. That's all. And children learn that rule. Okay, so we'll come to that. Coming to the question, yes, you wanted to say something?
You wanted to know from us our idea about sound and letters. I have understood, while conveying our ideas and emotions through a particular language, and we have so many sounds and sound combinations, patterns of sounds. Using these sound combinations and patterns, we convey our ideas and thoughts. And whenever we want to communicate them in a written form, we have devised certain letters corresponding to or to represent a particular sound or a sound combination or a pattern of sound. This is these letters only, I think, is used, or we require it only for kind of written communication. Otherwise, language in our, that is in oral communications, we don't need all these. This is understanding, my understanding.
The question is, do we need a correspondence between sounds and letters? That's the issue.
I find this correspondence is there, but with respect to my own language, that is in Odia. Yeah.
Is it or will it be there in all languages?
In respect of English, I don't think much correspondence is there. There is sound combinations, and letters, combination of letters. Letters are combined to represent that sounds.
Okay. So have you finished?
Sir,
we need to
regarding
finish quickly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Regarding whether language is scientific, rather I would say, instead of using scientific, I would say rather more patterned or more systematic.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. The question is that the moment you make a statement like, in Odia we have a correspondence, but in English we don't have the same kind of correspondence, raises the question of being scientific. Or if you want to use systematic, even that's all right. The issue here is that you take a sound in Odia, let's say X, and you evolve a symbol like this, let's say. It doesn't matter, sir. Any X. Any sound, this is sound. Okay? So, Uriya people, Uriya community evolves a symbol which represents this sound systematically. Right? To say that it does not happen in English will amount to saying that Uriya people are far more scientific and systematic and English people are foolish. Because English people evolve a system which doesn't seem to work. Because they, what it amounts to saying is that they evolve a system where they have a sound, and they have maybe 2 or 3 symbols representing it, which may be true. I'm not saying but that commits us to a situation which is non-human, which is subhuman. That you want to say that somehow the Hindi people and the Uriya people and perhaps the Assamese people are far more, or the Sanskrit people are far more scientific and advanced than the English people. And that doesn't seem to be right. You see, why on earth should any community, be it Chinese or Japanese or French or English, why should they do it? Why should they have a writing system which does not correspond to a sound system? Do you understand? So there is a problem. There is an issue there. So the first, let us see how scientific is the Devanagari writing system. I'll illustrate it with Devanagari, and then you can illustrate it with Uriya and with Assamese. We just don't have that much time, that's all. Let us see, we took the example of Saras. That example came up. And he also said that it could be written as this. Am I right?
Maybe 2 and 3. Maybe 2, 3, 1. Sets of union.
Am I right, sir? Huh? Am I right or not? Now, this means that the value, you see, if you write 22, are they the same?
No.
This is what?
Units. Tens.
And this is?
Tens.
The value of this is? 20. This is not 2. This is? 20. Okay. But here, all of you will, I think, say that 1 is equal to? 1 is not equal to 3?
No.
But you just said that Devanagari... No, but you also said, and everybody else also said, that Devanagari has evolved a system where the letter represents the sound in a systematic way. No? It has not?
Here the last sound is not released.
Yes.
Whereas the first sound is released.
What is that?
It stops at the end.
What does that mean?
Saras. It
No,
stops.
I mean, you see, this I think nobody will understand. This means you might hit me or something. The point is, what is the...
The final saw is not released here. But whereas the first saw is released.
Yeah.
The insertion of vowel sound is there in the first initial vowel.
Yes.
And in the final position, there is no insertion of
Right.
another vowel.
Right. If you look at the Hindi, if you look at the Devanagari writing system, for example, if you look at this word, right? So this is 1 and 2 and 2 and 1. But it is not really the case. The value of this, now that we know that it can be written in any script, this will be written as what? P, and this will be written as? Huh? Right?
PAK is not representing the sound.
Huh?
It's not representing the sound, PAK.
No, this is representing the sound.
No, not representing the sound.
What is it representing?
Then in that way, another phonemic script may come in.
No.
To represent
We are not talking of. I am writing in Roman.
Okay.
I am writing in Roman. This per is equal to, right? But here the same per is equal to. So the value of this per is very different. So Hindi language has a rule which combines the spoken and the written, and the rule says that the word final will never be pronounced. Every child picks up that rule at the age of 3, because no child say, "Mama, mujhe kappa chahiye." Mama, mujhe cup chahiye. No child will ever say kappa. What do you think might have happened? What do you think might have happened that per and this per became so different?
Your A is silent.
Yes, you're right.
A, P, A is silent.
Where? In pak. In ka. Yes, that's what I'm saying. That the final will not be pronounced. Right? ये हलंत है. अब सारी भाषा को हलंत करते रहते, उससे अच्छा है कि ये नियम बना दिया. एक ये नियम दिमाग में बना दिया. You make a rule in your mind that the final will not be pronounced. Okay? That's the rule. Okay. Now what do you think must have happened over a period of time? You see, what has happened over a period of time is the following, which happens to all languages, which brings out two things very clearly, that English people were not more foolish than us. They were like us, because why on earth should anyone evolve a script which does not correspond to the sounds? They always evolve that. But then what happens is the following. What happens is that the language runs very fast. Even today, if you listen to an RSS speaker, I have nothing against RSS, or BJP leader, or Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, for example, he would say Rama. That ma is not silent. Rama, Kamala. हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं? कमल. वो कहते हैं कमल. So that was there once upon a time. But speech changes much faster than the writing system. So maybe a word like this was pronounced as makhe in English. And a word like this was pronounced as take. Take a cup of tea, maybe. This is take a cup of tea. Maybe. We know it was pronounced cup. We know it for certain because people still pronounce cup. And then this was dropped. This went to 0. And this became a. So you say take. Make, sake, take, fake. Right? So the point I'm trying to make is that the speech changes much faster than the writing system, and the writing system cannot keep pace. The writing system cannot keep pace with the changes in the speech. It cannot, and it is socially very difficult. अब अगर मैं किसी को कहूं कि भाई अब आप अपनी बेटी का नाम रखते हैं, मान लीजिए ऋतु, तो आप ऐसे लिखते हैं और लिखना भी ऐसे ही चाहिए. That's how you should write Ritu. But I can't write Rishi Vyas like this. Rishi will have to be written like this, although I know that neither this nor this exist anymore. हाँ? ऋतु भी ऐसे लिखेंगे? ऐसे लिखेंगे? हाँ हाँ लिख सकते हैं, लेकिन ऐसे भी लिखते हैं लोग, वो गलत है. हाँ? This is the next problem. Let me finish this. Is everybody clear about this? That the gap that you will see, the gap that you will see between speech and writing system will be as a result of the speed at which language changes, and the script cannot keep pace with the changes in the, वो उसका मुकाबला नहीं कर सकती. हाँ? बहुत तेजी से बदलती है. Now there is this issue of meaning. In the morning also it came up and it was raised. I think, sir, you should go to a class of logic. I am not a logician. The many questions that you raised relate to logic. To really describe the meaning of all or everyone or none. All were present, everyone was present, none was present. What are the real meanings of these? I think requires a very long class in logic. But they are legitimate questions. Okay, only thing is that I don't have the time to respond to them. But there is one issue. Let us say there are two things, meaning and language. Do you think meaning creates language or language creates meaning? What is this? Suppose I call it tree. Do you think heavens will fall? All of us start calling it tree. So it does not matter. The point I am trying to make, madam, is that the relationship, that there is no inherent, inborn, God-given relationship between words and meaning. We can give, the relationship is arbitrary. The relationship between the meaning and the actual word is arbitrary. Absolutely arbitrary. So I think that's something that you should understand about the nature of language. There were several other issues. I don't know how many I can take care of in this. I think I respond only to one more, and then others I think will come later on. The innateness question will come again and again, so we will talk about that maybe in the next session. But I must say that this the issue that was raised in the morning about DTF, I was very happy with that, I'm very happy because that really abbreviates, and I think now probably you are beginning to see that why that happens. That we design everything out of ignorance, not out of knowledge. Everything is designed out of ignorance. Believe me. And that includes me. It's not that I am excluding myself. All of us design things without understanding what is language, how does a child learn. We forget that our classes are multilingual. We ignore that fact. I gave you small examples of how you could make use of different You know, I could do a lot more of this sitting here. It's just that we don't have time. I could use all the languages. And if you see this YouTube video called the Multilingual Classroom, you will see how the languages of children are used in the classroom very effectively. Some of you can see it by tomorrow and come back and tell me. You have 2-3 days in between, right? Yeah, that is why, you know, all these modules, all these things that have to be delivered to children, they fail. Because they are not meant to succeed. Children are not a party to it, teachers are not a party to it, and it is designed in the Pavlov dog model. Everybody familiar with Pavlov? Yes. Huh? Your yes sir doesn't mean the rest, sir. Others may not be familiar. How many people have heard of Pavlov? Just raise hands. Okay, quite a few. But many haven't. So please share. You see, this is one way. You can tell each other about Pavlov's dog. And I think even today, in spite of NCF 2005, in spite of activity-based joyful learning, we treat children like Pavlov's dogs. That this is, the theory of learning is the same. That we provide the theory of learning. So we will talk about theories of learning a little more. But this whole concept, the whole concept that learning can take place, and we will come back to that. I'll just make this statement and stop, and we will come back to this issue, that there is something called LSRW. That as I am speaking, as if I am not listening, and as if, as you are listening, ideas are not. That ideas are somehow, and the organization of ideas, and the density of ideas, and the connectivity of ideas is somehow independent of LSRW. Well, it is not. The fact of the matter is, first of all, to understand that language is far more complex, far more than just LSRW, and that it is foolish to segment skills into LSRW and to again DTF, sir, that all our textbooks are designed, bhai isme writing wali to hai nahi, you know, the reading exercise is missing, that exercise is missing, this exercise is missing, whereas I think the whole program, right from the curriculum down to the transaction, should be designed in a far more holistic way. And we will talk about that what do I mean when I say it should be designed in a far more holistic way. The only thing, for example, I'll conclude by saying, do you think, this is again one of my famous examples, do you think Taj Mahal was built before it was built or after it was built? Silence, see? That's very nice to have such silence. Do you think Taj Mahal was built before it was built or after it was built? It has to be built before it was built, right? Which means what? Which means? Idea of what? A brick and mortar or something? Or idea of what? Idea of?
Holistic Taj Mahal.
Does it consist of a listening part and a speaking part and reading? No.
Holistic.
Right. So that's a different thing. I am saying the initial conception has to be of a, yeah, of course it will change. I'm not saying it will not change. As you're writing your essay, you change. I'm not saying that. Okay, so let me stop there. Unless there are any sort of urgent questions, I'll stop there and we move to the presentations of the tasks. So we had 2 presentations, and we want, at least I would want that 3 or 4 presentations should be made about each task. Okay. So let us start with from the Northeast. Who would like to come forward and make a presentation about the first task? Who has done the work about English and about the other language? Because I am going to disappear. If you have nothing to say, then there is nothing to do. Unless we have task 1 and task 2 done, then there is nothing more to say, right? There were 2 tasks and we want responses from you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Grace Sten from representing Meghalaya from Northeast. And as per Sir told us what to do yesterday, first of all,
I'm just trying to find a place in the middle somewhere so that I can see.
Okay.
No, better. Is that chair? Yeah.
So first of all, you told us to convert the normal distribution. Right from there, sir, we'll start from the normal distribution curve. You asked us so many homeworks.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What kind of grammar of English and the grammar of your own knowledge we constituted?
Oh, yes, sir. I'll start from there then. I'm so mixed up. Give me a minute. Okay. As per what we have learned yesterday, that how does a child learn? So in the case of English language, it is the SVO. So we are not so far, since in Khasi language, our language is Khasi, and Khasi is based on the Roman script itself, and it is very similar to the Roman. So in the language structure of Khasi also, the structure of a sentence is formed in SVO only, subject, verb, and object. So for example, if in Khasi we say, and here also it is SVO. So when we say she eats an apple, in Khasi it will be ka, bam, so apple. So this is very similar to the English language in grammar construction.
Is there anyone else with that kind of structure sitting here? You know, there are about 20 languages represented here, I think, on a rough count.
But
Is there anyone else? Is there anyone else here?
Now,
one
can I
minute.
answer?
Let me
In
finish.
us, it will be different. She eats an apple. Apple, A. The object will come first.
I know.
Yeah, so it will be opposite to hers.
No, I am saying like Khasi.
Oh no,
Now
not.
the issue is that how many languages India has? Many. That's not the answer. Yeah, actually that is the correct answer, but still, how many? Huh?
Should I proceed, sir? Should I proceed, sir?
No. You see, look, India has, I have to, normally we don't tell these things. People have to go home and find out. The 1961 count of the census of India counted 1,652. Can you write that number? 1,652 languages in India, right? And of course, you are right. If you really go around counting seriously, there will be a lot more, actually speaking. And let me tell you that all those languages, that means 1,651. 1,651 languages are SOV. So Khasi remains, it's a very interesting phenomena. Khasi remains a big surprise for all great linguists, that how on earth in this country we have only one language, which is verb medial. The verb comes in the middle.
Yes, sir.
Right. So go ahead.
But can I make one clarification, sir, regarding this sentence?
Sorry?
Can I make one clarification?
Yes.
Regarding this word ka, it acts as a determiner, as a pronoun also, sir. To be just for your information. So you'll find in a sentence many times this word is repeated as a determiner and as a pronoun also, as a gender also.
Determiner means, for example, the apple.
For example, yes, sir.
So you can say ka bam.
U also we can add here, but it is understandable without u also, without this determiner also.
Okay.
So we can write either kabam uso apple or simply by kabam so apple. It is understandable.
So
like
apple,
you said,
can I say ka apple also? Ka apple?
Ka most because the speakers there know apple as u.
Okay.
So we use it as u only.
Okay.
Sir, can I make one point?
Yes.
In the Mizo, it is OSV. Apple, apple is the object, A is the subject, A is the verb. So ours is OSV.
But the verb is at the end.
Yeah, verb is at the end.
That's what I mean. It's verb final.
Right.
Verb final. And I think in Mizo, in many sentences, subject can come at the beginning.
Usually, usually object comes in the beginning.
But the verb comes at the end.
Yeah, verb is at the end.
Okay.
Okay, so this is in present tense.
Yes.
In present tense, can I erase this part?
Yes.
Now, in the case of past tense, I eat a banana.
No, it was apple only.
Oh, sorry. I eat this also can be written in two forms. So most of the time we use the second sentence. Ngalabam giso apples. It indicates the past tense.
Can you speak the sentence?
Ngalabam giso apples. So ki acts also as a plural form of apple. I told you that there are these words like u, ka and all acts
So
as
can I say key table, table and key table?
key apple,
No. If I want to say many tables.
key meat in Khasi.
Yeah. So key is the
It's a
plural marker.
plural
You see, the point
for
I'm trying
both
to
the
make
genders.
here, please try to understand, the point I'm trying to make here is Khasi is as rule governed as English. It is not that because Khasi is spoken in the remote forgotten hills of Meghalaya, therefore it is a backward language. No. Grammatically speaking, it is as scientific as the great global language English. There is no difference. Yes.
So for us, the rule is that key is a plural form.
Yes.
All
Very
right,
good.
sir.
Okay. So can you now tell us what is the plural rule for English? Can you rub all this off? Very good. I think you've done a very good job. Very nice.
Thank you.
And I'm glad Khasi came up.
Thank you, sir. Now the general rule for changing a plural forms into singular form to plural forms in English, sir. So first rule is
Don't let me warn you. Don't give me add SES or IES, because that is absolutely wrong. So tell me the rule.
I don't know, sir, to give you one rule, because right from my school days I learned those rules that by adding S and ES. So it's still
what is wrong in principle? What is wrong in principle in saying that the rule is add S, ES or IES?
Adding S in singular number.
Yeah. But what is wrong with saying that? What is wrong with saying that?
I think we make it plural as long as it is communicable, sir. I think.
No, you're not getting my point. I am saying there is something fundamentally wrong in saying that if you want to make a plural in English, add S, ES or IES. In fact, it is almost inhuman to say that, because millions and millions of people who have not been to school, it will amount to saying that these people do not know how to say plural of bird or plural of chair, because they don't know S or ES or IES. They have not read Wren and Martin. That foolish grammar they have not read. That patently wrong grammar they have not read. So, do you get my point?
Yes.
It is like saying that so-called uneducated people, they are not uneducated, they just happen to be non-literate. They are highly educated because they know how to grow rice in the remote hills, and they make plurals all the time. So what is it that they know?
All they know is that by adding S only. Or like in our language, we just simply
Do you see
add
the
the
problem?
T.
Write those some words. Write some English words.
Okay.
Count nouns.
Right, yeah, good. Keep writing. Right, 4 or 5.
Book.
Child.
No, child is out. Child is out. We
Child's
said.
out?
He accepts.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah, that's a good idea, to write the word that are in your hand. No, man is out.
Man is out. Women?
These are out because they have
Certain ways of changing.
there are maybe English language has 1 million words. You learn about 15 or 20 in terms of plural. You have to learn children, you have to learn oxen, you have to learn sheep. But the other 1 million words, you don't learn the plurals because you know some bloody rule. You know the rule. That's why you don't learn the plural. You can. Yesterday I gave you example, right? So you can write duster, you can write chalk, you can write watch. It is right in front of you. No, watch. Okay, enough. Enough. Now apply your rule.
So here it will be boys.
No. What is the rule? Add
R-S.
S. So pronounce it with S.
Okay, boys.
No. So you will have to say boy S.
Oh, okay.
So, but you are doing something else. What are you doing?
Boys, boxes, chairs, desks.
So write in Roman or Devanagari the sound that you are adding. Are you adding the sound sir? So say that now. Box. Z. Are you saying box? Z?
Box.
Yeah, that's better. Okay.
Yes. Cheers.
No, chairs. Not chairs.
No. The pronunciation will be Z. Cheers. I think.
Do we say that?
Yes.
Chairs.
Yes. Because the last sound is a voiced one. Otherwise, a voiced sound. And it is dropped.
Pens, papers, dusters,
That. Watches. It's not watches.
Okay, I did. Watches.
No,
Not
watches.
You mean the sound?
The.
You see it yourself and feel it.
Watches.
No, it's watches only, sir, not
Watches, yeah. You see, forget about the script. The script is so much in your mind because you see a sir there, you see an S there, ES, you are thinking of that.
watches.
So what you are saying is, not is. You are not saying watches.
Watches.
You say watches? No.
Watches and then doors.
No. Those. It is those.
Doors. Okay. Windows.
Yeah, you're getting there now.
No, it's not boards. No, boards. The is a voice sound.
Alright, please say everybody. Boards.
Sir, people are not going to understand what you're saying.
Voiced and voiceless, there is a problem in understanding that. I know.
Get into that. But you have to explain it without that.
Chalk.
Yeah, chalks is fine.
And then even here it's
Yes.
Boys.
Change it.
boys, chairs, chalk.
No, chair also.
Listen. What is your name? You can now listen. Listen to me. You can ask people some English new words and ask them to make the plural.
All right.
Very good.
All right.
Very good word
Let's
has come.
please give the plural of this.
Yes. Everybody knows. Right? Write some other word.
Like goose.
No, don't write goose. Why are we getting into this? There are things that we have to learn, so don't get into that. Right. Everybody knows mazes. Right? So the question is, what is it that you know? That's all I'm asking you.
In this case, how do you pronounce?
Mazes.
What is the difference between this and this then?
You see, in pronunciation there is no difference. So in plural also there can be no difference. No? In both cases you add. No?
This is mazes
Mazes.
and this is?
No, is.
Yeah. So can somebody explain? Has somebody cracked it? That there is something that all of you know, but there is also, this is also something which a 4-year-old child knows. What is it that she knows? Can somebody explain? Yes, please. But explain it in terms so that everybody understands.
Not in terms of rules.
Yes, rules that everybody understands.
Should I tell the rules?
No.
Rules?
No rules.
No, tell the rules. But rules in such terms that everybody understands.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'll try. Yes.
So, I'll come to that place now?
No, you can sit. You can sit there. Keep sitting there.
Now here we have a few words in which some words are ending in ka sound, some words are ending in sa sound, some words are ending in a sound. So don't go by the spellings of the words.
That's
English.
the first thing. Don't look at the spelling.
Yes, don't look at it. Because as our sir already said, most unscientific language. English is the most unscientific language. When compared to other languages. When compared to other languages. I'm adding it. Yes. Okay, sir. So let's take this example. Let's take this example. Let's take this example. And then this example. Okay. Here, this is, how do you pronounce this word? Without this? Box. Which is the last sound? Sa. It's not X, and it goes by the spelling.
Learn to say sa rather than S.
Yes.
Say sa.
Sa sound. And when you are saying sa, you could give it or put it in slanting bars. It represents the sound now. It represents the sound. Now when you say box, last sound of this word, English word, is sa. Whenever you find any count noun in English word which ends in sa sound, do you follow what I'm saying? Any English word with count noun which ends in sa sound, don't say it S sound, sa sound, then the pronunciation of the plural one will be sa only. It will not be is, it will not be za. It is only, now you could say desks. It's not desks. It's not that. Desks. You could say, yes, box here. No, here the last sound is saw. Now rule,
here saw sound, this saw sound I have mixed here. In this desk, actually I was telling about the plosive sounds. I'll not use the technical sounds. So whenever saw sound is there at the final position, then it is. Pronunciation is. I had taken this word. So here it is boxes.
Please understand. Now, let's
For example, you take another examples. Yeah.
You take the example of
Bush. So, sa, sha, cha, ja. Whenever you find it in the final position of an English word, then the pronunciation of the plural word will be is. Last is. Like boxes, churches, judges, bushes. Give me some other words. Watches, cha ending. Buses, sa ending. Yes. Branches. It's not branches. Branches. Cha ending. So sa, cha, sha, and which one? Sa, sha, coach, coaches. It's not coaches. It's not coats. It's not coats. So cha ending, sa ending, sha ending, and what? And za ending. Yes, judge, ja ending. Now see, three za. Ja, za, ja.
Tomato, potato.
Now here is a different example. Now you have given another example of this. Tomato and potato. Here the last sound is O. And for a moment, will you allow me a few minutes? I can make an experiment with them, and within a minute they will understand what is voiced and what is voiceless. Pardon? It's a vowel sound, and all the vowel sounds are voiced sounds. Remember, this is a rule. All the vowel sounds are vowel sounds, voiced sounds. Now, can you put your hands on your ears? Hands on your ears. When you say, you just pronounce any vowel sound loudly, but closing your ears. I am saying at present only vowel sounds. Some of the consonant sounds are also voiced ones, but I am at present saying only vowel sounds. Finally. Any sound you like. You are saying the vowels. I am not talking about vowels. I am talking about the vowel sounds. Did you do that? Now, take another example. I think you are not very clear in this. Now here I have written 6 sounds. 6 sounds I have written here. Pa, ta, ka. And here this side I have written ba, da, ga. Right? Can you pronounce these sounds like pa, ba, pa, ba, pa, ba, and then try to feel. Do you find any difference in it? Pa, ba, pa, ba, pa, ba. Do you find any difference in it? Is it? What is the difference do you find?
First one was a single sound and these has.
Well, she's saying that first one is one sound and the other one, this side one, that is 2 sounds. Right. Okay, this is one way of interpretation I have. Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay, I'll explain it. Again, do it now, first. Do it once or twice. Again, experience it. Ba, 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 ba. Excellent. Now see, what is the difference here? In the first one, these vocal cords, they are wide apart. In the first one, the left one side, pa, ta, ka. They are, that's why you are saying it's single sound is coming, okay, as per your interpretation. But in the second one, when you are pronouncing it, it's not that. It's a buzzing sound. It's a humming sound. That means vocal cords are coming together, going apart, again coming together, again going apart. So it is trying to come nearer and then again going apart. So this is the voiced sound. In English, all the vowel sounds are voiced sounds, number one. In English, all the vowel sounds, I'm not talking about vowels. I'm not talking about vowels. I'm talking about vowel sounds. Do you know how many sounds are there in English? Vowel sounds? By the way? 5. No, it's more than 5. I'm not talking about vowels.
It's a vowel sound.
I'm talking about vowel sounds. How many are there? 15. Sorry.
There are 8 vowel sounds.
Sorry.
8.
Well, you are again talking of pure vowel sounds, something else. No. Cardinal vowel sounds, I'm not talking of that.
Give multiple choice.
Total. That is 20 in number. 20 vowel sounds in English. Diphthongs, 8 diphthongs are there. When you say show, no, say, in all these I'm using a diphthong. But when I say sit, now I'm using pure vowel sounds, one sound. I don't want to go into the technicality of it. I know the science, I can explain it, but I'll not like to explain here because of the shortage of time. What I meant to say is here, yes. I'll come to my presentation, I don't know. Just in between I have come to...
Okay, can we stop there?
Yeah.
Can we stop there?
Okay.
Thank you.
So here we can frame rules now.
The idea was not to get into all these technicalities. The idea was something very simple, and I'll try to show to you. I mean, there is enough data now, and you have enough experience. The first point is, of course, liberate yourself from the script. Unless you experience that liberation, you will not be able to understand. Okay. The second issue is, in this whole discussion, is that how come a 4-year-old child has exactly the same grammar that you people have? Neither you know it, nor she knows it. Knows in the sense, try to talk as he was. He was talking like this because he's trained at CIFL. I can also talk like that, but there's no point talking like this here. You know, I'm not giving you a course in phonetics. So that's not the point. The point is to make you understand that a child has the potential, a 4-year-old child has the potential to construct extremely complex rules for which nobody teaches her. That's the issue. And that's just one small example of doing all this. The issue of whether the R is pronounced or not in a word like, for example, how do you pronounce this word? Let's see, how do you pronounce that? Can you say that loudly? Huh? No, I can tell you what he will say. He will say car park. He will say car park because, you know, he went to Hyderabad. Now the point is, that there is nothing wrong with saying car park, which is what they say in England, and there is nothing wrong with saying car park, which is what they will say in Arizona. In Arizona they will say car park. They'll pronounce the R. Nothing wrong with that. And there is nothing wrong with saying car park, which is what we people, normal human beings, say. And even if you say car park,
That is the most sensible thing to do. That is what should be done to human language. Because most human language is kar parak, not kha pak. Even actually, if you think about it, if when people say kha pak, what they are doing is removing these consonants. What are they doing? They are trying to remove consonant clusters. Our human minds don't like consonant clusters. Human mind in general does not like, you think of any favorite film song of yours. Think of any Meera Bhajan. Rasri avat jate sil par hot nisan. CV, CV, CV. Alternation of consonants and vowels. No CC together. We don't like it. That is why school is either sakul or iskul. That's a normal human thing to do. That is why I say, when you say kar parak, that's good. Don't worry about it. That's why I tell you, don't hesitate in America. They have plenty of people there saying car parak and car park. Don't worry about it. Okay. The issue is as follows. The issue is that English language has only one rule for making plurals. And that one rule is that take an X, which is singular, and add a Z to it. Add a Z. That's all. That's all there is that a child has to learn. But you see, this is so complicated. This is so complicated that a child also has to learn to sort of, you see, this takes care of all vowel sounds. What is the difference between a vowel sound and a consonantal sound? Yes. And a consonantal sound can't be spoken alone.
Most of the time it requires a vowel with it.
What, about 20% time or 180% time? Never thought about it. Actually, people don't. So you see, this is written in grammars and people memorize it and then reproduce it in the exams and get marks, and that's about it. Okay. I'll tell you a simple way. If you can produce it for a long time, it's a vowel sound. If you can't, then it is not. Right? If you can say ah, you can say for a long time. Right? But you can't say per for a long time. Right? You can't say ka for a long time. Right? Basic, that's all you have to remember. But a child has to remember that if the sound ends in sa, za, cha, and sh, if it ends in this, then this za becomes is. Why does it happen? Because we don't like CC. Because we don't like consonant. Because we can't say can't. We can't say bush. So we say bush is. So that's one thing the child has to remember. And only one more thing, that if the word ends in sounds like p, t, ka, then this becomes a s. That's all. Finished. That's all. And you get plural of the millions of words of English language. Not of goose, geese, not of tooth, teeth, not of foot, feet. That is why children will say foots and tooths. Okay? That's why childs is very common and correct. Childs is correct. It is English language which is incorrect. There is nothing wrong with... So anyway, the point of this whole exercise was to summarize the whole thing. Unfortunately, we don't have too much time for presentations. The point of this whole exercise was that a child, a 4-year-old child, is a full-blown linguistic adult. That's why I said yesterday, it is in that sense that a 4-year-old child is a Panini. Here. He can't, Panini could write the grammar. Child cannot write the grammar, but the grammar is there. No curriculum, no textbook takes care of this, that a child knows this rich system already at the age of 4. So that's about the first task. We don't have much time, we need to move to the second. Okay? So who would like to, yes sir?
If linguistically, as you explained, that the child's is right, how it continues to be children?
In the process of recognizing exceptions. Yeah.
I mean, not only here in India, also in English-speaking countries, the linguistics, the linguistic people are also there. If as per linguistic science, this child is correct,
yes,
why and how this children came and still continues? That is my
yes.
query.
You see, the point is that that answer is available to you in Nagamese. That answer is available to you in Chinese, Portuguese, Pidgin. That answer is available there. How it is available? That it is possible that English language borrowed one pair together. Like child and children were borrowed together. And that did not become a part of this rule. That's all. And it happens like, sheep, sheep. So maybe the French people said sheep, sheep. So they borrowed both and kept it that way. Tomorrow the English community decides, suppose, there is a sort of small group, they start saying sheeps. So sheeps will be correct. That's why to say that there is the correct form is highly problematic. No, program, there is no difference. You see, I am only trying to prepare you mentally that there will be not homogeneity but enormous amount of heterogeneity. The rule of human language is heterogeneity and being rule governed. The paradox in human language is that it is at the same time highly rule governed and highly variable. That's what you have to understand. Okay, let's take the second. Sorry, you want to go? No. You want to say something? No. Okay. So who is going to present the second about the what was called that I wanted to check your proficiency levels. I didn't want to do that. Really, believe me, that was not the idea. To test your proficiency levels, because I know that some of you will be very good, most of you will be in the middle, and some will be. I don't have to do it. This you can say about any class. And individually, I purposely asked you not to write. I am not going to check. I am never going to find out who got what. I am not interested. That's not the purpose. The purpose was something else which will come in front of you now. Okay? So let us see. Who is going to make the presentation about that? Yeah, you will? Yes, please come here, sir.
We discussed the structure SBU in my language, that is in Odia. This comes last, just as the case of many other languages.
No, sir. We wanted the presentation about the paragraph.
About the paragraph?
Yes. The second task.
Achha.
If you are ready with that, you can have that, otherwise somebody else should come.
Okay.
But I think the outcome of this exercise will be what I have already summarized, that the child can acquire.
I need that paragraph. It looked like a task of comprehension assessment. Rather, I find it that while reading twice, maybe with some of us read also thrice, we try to find out actually not only the overall meaning. At the first reading, we looked for the overall meaning. That is how we try to comprehend the overall meaning. And in the while reading for the second time, we again looked for the particular meaning with respect to each blank in relation to the total meaning that we comprehended in the first case. Simultaneously, this kind of thinking was going in me or with many of us, that what kind of word is it, particularly with respect to grammar, whether a noun is missing, would it fit to the construction or the structure of the sentence, and will it complete the sense or the meaning. So during second reading this was happening. I was learning that what kind of sentence, what kind of meaning this particular sentence carries in relation to the total meaning that I comprehended, and exactly what kind of what should come in. There was a lot of internal reasoning that was going in me. I was choosing words. There was a few competing words that ever come to my mind, and I was in a process of choosing and finalizing which would fit the best. So this way I was becoming conscious of the overall meaning, the specific meaning of a particular sentence, and the grammatical constructions, and the kind of word and the semantics, whether matching or not. So this way the total task, rather I feel it, was much more than just a case of task of comprehension. Again, this way I tried to find exactly I tried to find out not only the meaning, rather the context also, the context of each word, each gap, and the word that I am finalizing. So this was a lot of exercise was going in me. I think the whole of grammar was playing in me when I was trying to complete this task.
No, please stay. Sorry, because of time I have to. I think that that has been put in a very beautiful way. I think that brings out why we did it. Really, thank you very much. I think you have done a wonderful job. I think all of you went through, maybe you could not articulate it, but all of you went through that process of, I think this is a classic example of the fact that the Taj Mahal has to be built before it is built. So you had to make a sense of the whole where there were many gaps, and you had to make some kind of sense and then revise that sense as you went on, right? And use reasoning and logic, and very nicely put, you had to sort of do alternative selections. You had to a set of words, and classifying words in a certain category, and various aspects of grammar were tested. I think that's a very nice way of putting this whole exercise. But anything else that you want to add to this? I mean, don't repeat yourself. I mean, if you have said your piece, then that's it.
No, actually, what?
And this also breaks the great myth of LSRW, that language is not LSRW. This is what language is. That you build a structure, you build an overall structure, then you sort of listen to yourself, you listen to your voices, then you are reading, you are also writing, right? And then, as he said, several other cognitive abilities are involved in filling in this kind of passage. Although the passage was deliberately put much below your levels, it's far below your level. So that's not the idea. I would have given you a far more difficult passage actually. But the idea was to make you familiar with the technique rather than test your proficiency levels. That was not the idea. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Anything fresh that you want to add?
Yeah. Now, this was the task and what was happening and how I was engaged. That part is over. Actually, after the task, here in the classroom, I was again reflecting that as a teacher educator, I looked at why professor is giving or engaging us in such a task. Does it bear any link or relevance for me as a teacher educator, or in terms of my task, present and future, that while particularly designing in-service training programs? So what I found that, see, ordinarily when we were designing or planning our in-service training programs, usually we go for this kind of task, that you take this structure thing, and also much before the task was carried out by the participants, I also have a very definite shape of the kind of outcome. So that is how I was comparing with what I expected and what exactly the participants are having. Now here actually I revised my thinking that such a task can be given which bears multi-dimensional, possibilities, lot of possibilities, and see from such a single task, the task can be used as a learning task as well as a task of evaluation, and giving opportunities of learning, varieties of learning, grammar, meaning and comprehension. I thought that this could be nicely put into my task of program designing and planning, and using our English teachers, training our English teachers as to how children can be engaged to learn the much of grammar and much part of language through simple tasks. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. I think that was very nice. You don't seem to be in a vacuum.
Make my one observation regarding these exercises which was given to us in a in one single sentence.
Of course you can.
Sir, one more thing which is puzzling me is that the first fill in the blanks text which was provided to us didn't have name of any writer written below it, but the second one, the financial career one, has Stephen Leacock written there. So I was just struggling to find out that what can be the significance attached to it. Is it it's by chance, or does it have some significance? And if it has significance, then I was trying to think that maybe I can do Stephen Leacock one only when if I read my financial career, but I can do the first one even if I don't. I have the choices of filling words there, but I don't think so I have any choice of filling my own choice word in Stephen Leacock. This is what I wanted to say.
No, that's because you are saying this with hindsight. It will not be the case that the uniqueness dimension will be missing in Stephen Leacock. The same thing will happen. The variation will be there in Stephen Leacock also. So it's just a question of empirical evidence. But
don't need to. So your first guess is right. It's just a matter of chance. That it happened like that, and doesn't carry much significance. But we will. Please don't remind me about this point, because we need to talk about it. Okay, in some other context, we need to talk about this point, that when you take something from somebody, what you can legitimately take and how to take it. So I maybe talk in the last session. Just remind me. This is very important, because you are going to the great seat of learning. So I don't want you to go unaware. Okay, but look at the passage. Please look at the passage. All of you have a copy, right? So one thing that has been brought out very clearly by what Sir said, that language is not, in fact all learning, this is true of all learning, is not a linear and segmented kind of process. That is what is fundamentally wrong with LSRW. कि पहले थोड़ा बोलना सिखाओ, पहले सुनना सिखाओ, फिर जबकि people don't understand that children actually start writing much before they start speaking. Children start scribbling a lot on the sand, on the paper, and in fact they can tell you stories about what they are writing. It is their handwriting, and why should they write in your handwriting? Why should they write in your script? They write in their own script. So this segmentation is highly problematic, right? So this, I think, point should be understood, and then our whole approach to language teaching will change. Once we understand this, the whole approach will change. Okay, the second point that was made, yes, that day also, and yesterday, and today also, that it seems that there is whole of grammar. Everything is being tested. Everything is being there. How do you think it has happened? How could it be possible? I mean, how in small passage, there are only 30 blanks, 33 blanks. How could it happen? How are the blanks there? And you think we thought, let us delete some prepositions and let us delete some, huh? Who told you that? Who told you that? Huh? Did you figure out from the paragraph? He is the only one who figured this out. That this passage, very systematically, every 7th word has been deleted. So this kind of procedure, this is not called a test, this is called a procedure. This kind of procedure is called, and with a Z, it is called the close procedure. And it is called the close procedure, or the close test, you can call it, because it is based on the Gestalt psychology. I don't know how many of you have Gestalt psychology of a whole. The word close means the closure. It's just that this Z is there. I mean, has been there. That's how it is. This word does not exist independent of this procedure. It's like inventing a relativity equation. It's something like that. That's all. It is based on the principle of closure. And the principle of closure is, for example, if I you draw this, what will you do? You will add I, right?
and you can draw any diagram like this, and you will feel that you are immediately. See, there is no reason. But you do this because you have a gestalt of a whole. The whole point of this procedure is that you have a gestalt. You have a total. Before you have the parts, you have a total. That's what I meant by saying that the Taj Mahal is there before. Taj Mahal may never get built. You know, many buildings never get built, but they are dreamt of. So dreaming them is important. Then every nth word is deleted. So what we do is that the first one or two sentences are not touched, and the last one or two sentences are not touched, and then you are not looking at the passage. How will you figure out what I am saying? You will see that the beginning and the end is left to create that gestalt, and then you start counting, and every seventh word has been deleted. Now this n could be, you know, you can say this n could be what? 1 to 9. 1 to 9. It can be 10. Can be 10. It can't be 12.
Can be, but particularly contextualizing, we are using not two lengthy sentences here in this paragraph.
No, whatever be the sentences. You see, we are talking of a, we are talking of a procedure. We are talking of a procedure irrespective. Hmm?
Then nth is 9.
Sorry? Yes, say that.
If you start from first,
Yeah.
then nth will be 9.
Sorry?
Nth will be 9.
N will be 9. Why? It can't be 10? No, we are not talking of arithmetic here. We are saying that which number, which word should be deleted. So are you saying...
That depends upon the to whom we are administering this paragraph. If you want to be a difficult one, then n should be 4 or 5. And if it is a class 1 child, class 2 child, or class 3 child, if n is 10, the paragraph will be more easier. The task will be more easier.
But can I delete the first? Every first or second? You see, you cannot delete every second because it will become completely incomprehensible. That's right. And similarly, you cannot delete every 10th or 12th because it will make it so simple. So the range is generally between 5 to 7. That's all. If you want to make it difficult, you make it 5th. If you want to make it simpler, you make it 7th. That's the standard kind of procedure, and this was established after a lot of research into the close procedure. Yeah.
Does close mean here close-ended process?
No. Close here means where, you know, there is a closure, that there is sort of, this is called in a sense, you know, this will be called, what's the word used? This will be called mutilated text. This text has been mutilated. And what the process you were undergoing yesterday was a process of retrieving the words to put this text in the proper order, you know, to sort of, you know, it is like saying, you know, you see in a cave you find an old painting and you can see something and it's all destroyed, but then you slowly work on it and you make it living. That's what you are doing here. So that is why it's called close. It's based on the closure principle. At this moment it is not fully closed, it's empty at places. So you are restoring that. That process is called retrieval. the process of retrieval. So this is the standard process, and now the most interesting thing, that you would discover that you take any text and apply this principle of 5th to 7th, and you look at the deletions. What will happen is, what all of you were saying, what will happen automatically is, the lexicon or the vocabulary of a language, the vocabulary of any language can be divided into two main categories, right? One category of content words and one category of function words. Content words, open class, this is a closed class. I can add, now please listen carefully, because you might be tired and hungry, but your mind has to be functioning. You can add more nouns to your language. You can add more adjectives, more verbs, more adverbs to your language. Definitely, and we keep adding every day. That's why the dictionaries become bigger. But you can't add anything to he, she, it. That's it. You can't add anything to a and the. Period. A and the is a closed set. Is that clear to everyone? You can't add anything to in, at, on. Closed set. Prepositions is a closed set. Articles, determinals is a closed set. But nouns is not a closed set. Is that clear? Now what will happen is that when you do the closed process deletions, that means you delete the every 5th, 6th or 7th word, 50% of this approximately, and 50% of this will get deleted automatically. So that means your knowledge, as he was saying, your knowledge of the whole grammar and the whole dictionary gets tested automatically. That's the beauty of this test. I mean, a lot of things have been written against this test. I don't want to go into that. Maybe at Arizona they might tell you about that. I'm not saying this has not been contested, but there has been a great success rate of this kind of test, because of such reasons, that 50%, sorry,
Which level this kind of test be
from level 0 to PhD,
0 to PhD?
any level, you have to make it that difficult. That is, I'm glad you raised that point. Another great beauty of this test is it is highly flexible. It is highly flexible. You can use it at the word level. You can use it at the sentence level. You can use it at the Ideally, it should be used like this, ideally speaking. But otherwise, in terms of creating a closure, you can use it at all levels. You can also use it in LSRW, in listening, speaking, reading, writing. You can use it anywhere. It's highly flexible. The other beauty is that it is so easy to mark, as you saw yesterday. It's very easy to mark. But then there is a problem, a very interesting problem that was raised in the morning earlier here. The problem was the exact and the acceptable, right? This is what who was saying this? You raised this, and I think you also raised this, that you are not permitting the accept. I never said that. And the acceptable ones may be very rich for pedagogical purposes, because you know the background of children and you can certainly. However, it does not make any difference to the close procedure. in terms of as a diagnostic test or as a test of reading comprehension, as a test of language proficiency, it does not make any difference. You must examine the acceptable for your own understanding and for sharing, with semantically acceptable, syntactically acceptable, both semantically and syntactically, structure-wise and meaning-wise acceptable. You must talk. What kind of words children use? You must talk to them. And you must enrich your own understanding. Your own lexicon may be improved, right? But what happens is that you saw the whole class marks yesterday. What will happen is that somebody who is getting 7 will get 10, but somebody who is getting 10 will get 14. Somebody who is getting 23 will get 28. That's what will happen. Which means the overall distribution will not change. The overall distribution will remain the same. That is why people who work with the closed procedure, they normally say, this is good enough. Let's not waste our time. When you are looking only at diagnostic proficiency levels, when you are looking only at reading comprehension levels, it does not change the picture very much. But if you are doing other things with closed procedure, which you can, then of course you should look at the acceptable and only semantically acceptable, but not syntactically, structure-wise acceptable, and so on and so forth. Okay? Oh, we should finish. Okay. I think कुछ छूटा close के बारे में बोलना, Rajni? Anything? I think I have covered more or less most of the points. Yeah, 1 minute. Let me finish. I listen to you. I never refuse to listen to you. Let me conclude because I think I'll have to stop. You will have the next session. Let me conclude by saying that, we have, I think, established a few things today. I have given you evidence for a few things today, and I hope tomorrow, not tomorrow, 11th afternoon, we will please keep thinking about these things, and please come back with your critical, thoughtful feedback. I have, before I listen to her, I have a couple of assignments, because you have a lot of time now. You can work in groups. You don't have to, you can work with your friends. So here are the tasks. And next time, I will sit on the other side of the room right from the beginning. So the whole session belongs to you. You can do it the way you like. Okay? You can work in groups of 3 or 4, but I would like several presentations to come forward. One is, I want you to design a cartoon. It should not be copied, because the theme I am going to give you is a very common theme these days. Okay? This is a cartoon on the sand mafia. Okay? And the UP government and so on. Whatever you may decide, you may treat it the way you like, but don't copy Amul, for example. Have you seen the Amul ad? Huh? What does it say? No. On this. Yeah. Amul comes with a new ad every day. Anyway, you check on. I'm happy you haven't seen it. Don't see it. So see, make for yourself. So don't tell me we don't know how to draw. Doesn't matter. You leave instructions for the illustrator. Make some kind of figure, but it should look a proper cartoon. Make it on a poster. We are going to display it here. We are going to pin it here, and we are going to talk about it. Okay? So I would you like, they have groups, Pushpras? Have they groups? So please work in your groups. Whenever you find time, make a cartoon and put it on So cartoon, I want to see cartoon consists of what? What picture do you have of a cartoon? Okay. Secondly, I want you to read Sheridan. All of you have a copy of Sheridan. The last reading. The last reading of Sheridan Theories of Reading and Implications of Teacher. So I like you to come up with a summary. I want you to do the following tasks. Please write down the tasks. Number 1. Is it a good text? If yes, then why? If no, then why? That's the first question. Is it a good text? Is that clear? Second, what are the main ideas in the text? I want 1-page summary written of that, and we will have some presentations here of that summary. Number 3, I want that you should tell me how to write a reference. How to write a reference. It is given at the end of the paper, so you can figure that out. These 3 things have to be done for Sheridan. Task number 3, because you have time. No? No task number 3? Too much? Is it too much work? Okay, if you can do it. No, you can split. You know, some people can do Sheridan. Other people can take up Dewey and Tagore. Again, the same questions as about Sheridan. Same kind of questions as about Sheridan. You know, this workshop is about reading, so you better read something. Okay? And this workshop is about communication, you say, so you better communicate your ideas on what you read. Okay, yes, you wanted to say something.
Sir, I just wanted to ask that this closed procedure, is it good enough for the group, for text, for knowing their language proficiency, or for individual also? So I was thinking that direction.
The closed procedure, hello. The closed procedure has been established over a period of time as one of the most reliable tests for testing individual language proficiency. The reason being that if I give you 10 tests, you understand? 2 tests in listening comprehension, 2 in reading, 2 in speaking. If I give you 10 tests, and if I give you 1 close, then the correlation of those 10 with the close will be very high, in the range of 0.8 or 0.9. So people generally say, why the hell are you doing 10 tests? Do only 1. Because this is so reliable, so highly reliable a procedure. So there you are.
Excuse me, sir. Is there any percentage also that till this percentage language proficiency is good, and below that percentage it is not good?
Okay, we need to break. I'll talk to you outside.